All right. Sorry, we're a little bit of technical difficulty there, but welcome everyone to a Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer tournament race. Azder vs. Cheezinator. Hopefully, y'all ready. It was my fault. Our change? Sure, let's go with that. Our change. The runners are doing standard early game stuff. Both of them obviously went to a Link to the Past. So we've got Azder on the left, Cheezinator on the right, in a round of 32 matchup tonight. And I'm Maniacal, and I'm joined by Tracy. How are you doing, Tracy?
Doing fantastic. Really looking forward to this matchup. As you're one of the best at this, Cheezinator are no slouch at this game. So it'll be really interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely a race that can go either way. Azder is the number 2 overall seed in the tournament for a reason and is justly a favorite. Very, very good at the game. Cheezinator also a regular in the races. And, very, very capable of winning. It is Randomizer, and, anyone with sort of the requisite level of skill can reasonably win any of these races. And that's kind of the stage we're at in this tournament, is everyone who's left is pretty darn solid.
Yeah, an interesting routing by Cheese early. Went and got the Houlihan money and is now buying bombs. So I think this may lead to an early Saha Eastern check.
Yeah, I used to run a route a lot like this, Houlihan into immediately doing Smoldorm Cave. I liked the South Shore play early, but looks like he is going to head to Sash Closet. Just a shield on the Lumberjack ledge.
Not going back for that.
Not going to see that item collected by either of our players tonight. But yeah, just having the Houlihan, the money for bombs early, then when you get over to Kakariko to pay Bottle Vendor and things like that, very worthwhile. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Cheezinator do a map check ahead of time, because if Green Pendant's Light World, you can get around that information. But it looks like he's just not going to talk to Sahasrara and get that information, but does find the silver arrows there at Sahasrara.
A nice item to pick up. Doesn't do anything for us right now, though. Nice to know you won't have to do Silverless Ganon, but aside from that, doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can take those silver arrows and stab enemies with them, but they're a lot more useful once you have the bow.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, they're doing absolutely nothing until we find the bow. There's a bow out there somewhere, and the runners will probably have to find it. I'm not sure how either of them are, but with the Mimic clips, but it does look like Eastern is a crystal. Apparently already had a map check that I missed in the hurry of getting things started here. A little hectic at the start, and it looks like Eastern is a crystal, so
they need a bow.
Yeah, bow is going to be hard required. And so while I'm missing map checks and things, I just wanted to take a moment and give an early shout out to our tracker, Zoruvian, who is much more on top of things than I am.
Interesting situation Asher's found himself in. He only has 85 rupees, not enough to pay for the bottle vendor. Also has no bombs, so he's going to probably buy some bombs and maybe orphan this bottle vendor location, depending on what he finds behind those bombs.
I think probably buying bombs and then using the well and Blind's Hut to do the rupee farming is much more likely. I think Azder will rightly assess that he has a general movement advantage and that he'll be able to do a little bit more per unit time in this matchup, and therefore it is to his benefit to be more thorough and to not leave one-offs that could be really, really punishing, like Bottle Vendor. So I doubt we'll see him on a Bottle Vendor skip.
Yeah, and that's one of the differences when you play the SMZ3 versus the Link to the Past by itself. You don't usually find yourself in this situation in Link to the Past only, because usually one of those chests is going to have that money, or it's going to have those bombs for you to start out. But in this version, because you have a lot of other garbage items, mostly missiles, but other Super Metroid ammo that by the end of the game you have plenty of, it's not uncommon to not get those bombs or those rupees early on.
Yeah, and we do see Azder grabbing all the blue rupee pots, is going back to use bombs. And we know from Cheezinator's side, he's going to find the hook shot here in the back of Blind's hut. Hook shot, a nice early movement item. Pretty underrated, I think, just in general. So I think it's gonna work out fine for Azder. We may see him, or no, he's gonna get a 20 down here in the bottom left chest. He didn't come in here the first time around, so he will have 105 rupees out of here and be all set to go pay the bottle vendor for some extra bomb capacity.
Ugh. Well, at least you won't have to worry about it later.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, you're gonna check a bunch of garbage.
Yep.
And it's just about getting through items per time and then seeing where you end up. Like, you're just letting the seed tell you where it wants you to go.
Yeah, and that early hook shot is really nice. You don't have to worry about hover seeds. You don't have to worry about getting into swamp later on. You know, it's such a nice item. It's actually my favorite item in the game. So useful in so many ways.
Yeah, that hook shot, very, very good for early mobility. You can grapple your way to bushes and trees and various statues and things. I didn't quite catch what was there at the library. Did you see, Tracy?
I saw it, and now I'm already forgetting what it was, so it's probably something stupid.
I'm seeing chat saying missiles, so thank you, chat.
Yeah, okay.
And, hey, race game with 300, but Azder saying, maybe not.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one. That particular type of item is why I tend to blind check the race game, because it's much easier to be halfway through the race game, see 300 rupees and say, yeah, I'll take that, than it is to scout it and then be like, yeah, do I really want to go back and get 300 rupees? And looks like Cheezinator is going to go for it.
Yeah, Cheezinator, Houlihan, rupees, screw it, we're doing Zora early. Like, he's all in on these rupees. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the blind race game. You're kind of preaching to the choir on that one. I've been a big fan of blind race game in SMZ3 for a long, long time. And so, you know, both runners choosing not to do that. Either of them would have been happy with 300 at the end, but probably not going to be that big of a deal. There's a lot of checks that are going to be available, and Azder knows that the 300's there if he decides he needs to go back for it.
Yeah, if we get down to the point where it's get that 300 rupees or farm for Zora money, he's just going to go back and get the 300 rupees. So, yeah, not too worried. He shouldn't be too worried about it.
Yeah, and Hookshot also very, very useful here in Smoldorm Cave.
Yeah.
Hookshot does kill these guys in one poke. So he's going to grab his bombs, collect some items, and mostly just poke these guys until they go away. And I think we'll see the same from Cheezinator here in just a minute.
Well, that's an early morph ball.
Yeah. And Cheezinator using the hookshot in another way. So when that block was moving, it was not a solid sprite or a solid object. It's sprite. So he's able to grapple to the treasure chest using the hookshot and end up saving a transition in and out of the dam area. So another early hookshot value play.
Now this is interesting. Azder decides to reset straight to Super Metroid. Don't love this because only 5 power bombs, but you know that morph ball could be leading to something. Even with the 5 power bombs, just once you get to that big pink area, routing that area with just 5 power bombs trying to get everything is a big pain. But he might pick up some along the way.
Yeah, 5 power bomb Super Metroid is pretty rough. Azder is very comfortable and competent with movement in Super Metroid.
For sure.
And so, you know, we'll be able to not get punished too badly by it, but we may see Cheezinator put off that Super Metroid play. This is really an items per time play from Azder, and I can see it because, I mean, his other options are bad movement, A Link to the Past, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're going to go do Front of Escape, do the dam area, do South Shore. I mean, he could have walked over to Ice Rod, which is what we see Cheezinator doing right now, just being a little more thorough with this Sphere 1. But definitely don't disagree with the choice to go straight for Super Metroid.
And in the end, Cheez might not even find any more power bombs, so it's not It's not a bad choice. It's just it could slow him when he gets to Big Pink. He's going to have a choice between getting all the items or doing extra farming. And as you know, those enemies do not like to drop power bombs unless you don't need them and you're trying to get super missiles.
I disagree. I think that these pirates right here that Azder's by love to drop power bombs.
Oh no, the pirates they do. I watch you get them all the time, but the Big Pink area doesn't have these space pirates.
Yeah, that's true. Big Pink, a little harder to get power bombs from. Those space pirates are apparently a 2% drop. I dispute that though. I think that that's a crock. But oh, what's the stun prize today? Single bomb. That's actually kind of nice. So hookshot also good for checking your stun prize, as Cheezinator's showing. But yeah, we've got so far from Super Metroid a Bombos medallion, which is worthless right now, but still, good to have. Cheezinator does not have a water walk state set up. He doesn't have the boots yet, so that wasn't going to go well. Also, Bombos and Book of Medora. Book of Medora would be a way into desert, so if we're strictly chasing the logic, maybe we push to desert sometime soon, but that's not that exciting.
As you're going to already skip the piece of heart, we did see now 2 extra power bomb packs, so now the Big Pink's probably not going to be an issue anymore.
Yeah, the difference between 5, 10, and 15, each very, very big. Yep. And so getting to that third power bomb pack, it might not make for clean routing up through Retro Bryn, but it will let him go all the way pretty smoothly through down Red Tower to Kraid's Lair. And so getting down to Kraid's Lair is nice because you'll be able to get to Death Mountain, get to East Death Mountain, which is very important. And I think that might be what's motivating this play from Azder. Cheezinator struggling a little bit to get that reverse fake flipper out of Hobo and then getting it there nicely. So we see him swimming without his flippers because he's screen transitioning. Basically, he's landing in the water 1 pixel from the edge. And then on the first frame of being in the water, he's forcing a screen transition. And the game just kind of forgets to check if you have the flippers or not and says, oh, Link's swimming, all's good. And Cheezinator's kind of just chilling, dodging that Zora. We'll see what he finds.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like about what Azder's doing, if he does continue this all the way to Kraid instead of following into the Retro Bryn area, one of the things I like about that routing is we don't have Speed Booster yet, and it doesn't orphan Waterway nearly as bad if you still have those Blue Bryn checks. Whereas if you do the Blue Bryn checks, then you're never getting back to Waterway. It'll be your last location whenever you get your Speed Booster, and yeah, if there's something good there, it could be problematic. Oh, there's some rupees.
Yeah, not surprised to see Azder take those. So in Super Metroid, it really behooves you to grab as many things as possible, just because the item fanfare isn't a fanfare. Normally it would be 400 frames, but that's been eliminated, and instead it's just a half-second time loss each time. And so we're going to see Azder probably grab a bunch of extra stuff, even if it doesn't matter that much. I liked that Zora play from Cheezinator. Unfortunately, just Super Missiles, so not paying off. I think we'll see him head to Super Metroid here now, too.
Yes, I would agree.
We'll see how he chooses to route this. He does only have that 1 power bomb pack. We know that there's 2 more waiting for him over in Bryn Loop already. But I think, it looks like he might be going straight for the down Red Tower play, which is a good default play for being light on power bombs early. This is a safer route than what Azder's taking, but it is a potentially more direct route toward completing the seed, just because this Bryn Loop doesn't have a boss in it. Like, there's no boss that you need to complete over here. So, could just be time save if that book isn't required.
Ooh, or a gravity suit. An out-of-logic gravity suit, since we don't have Wave Beam right now.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one.
Yeah, you don't see... So we know we're going to find Wave Beam at some point.
Well, we don't know that. We might just never find Wave Beam.
Well, yeah, okay. But... So we know that Wave Beam is accessible somewhere. We put it a different way.
If Wave Beam shows up somewhere, that will be indicative of what we were supposed to do before getting gravity. It's an interesting extra power bomb there, but Azder does have 3 packs, so, you know, spend them however you like. Yeah, we are seeing the down red tower, so scout moat, and then just head down red tower for Cheezinator, and we might see a red tower high 5 here, but I doubt it. We might see Azder go up. Yeah, we did see Cheezinator find Varia, so we have a divergence of suits here. This could be very interesting. Azder is going down, so he'll be down red tower without his Varia, and this is going to make for an interesting Super Metroid.
Yeah, I think his goal is, I mean, he's going to probably kill Kraid in this, but one of his goals is going to be to rescue the old man and at least get that save quit point over in Death Mountain.
I wasn't sure Azder was going to make it back up there before that block reformed. I really wasn't. But there's the wave beam. Okay.
There's that wave beam. Okay, now the gravity suit's in logic. That's terrible if you can't do that gate glitch, having to come all the way here to get your wave beam just to go back to get the wave gate.
Yeah, but that location doesn't tell us too much.
Nope.
So we're back in logic, with the exception of is there anything that's broken logic? No. So far
Nope.
we are completely in logic.
Yeah, the stuff, I don't count the stuff with Zora because there wasn't anything of worth there.
Yeah.
And Azder making the play into Meridia, which is really interesting this early with no movement items.
Yeah, this is an aggressive down logic play. It's something that some players will like to do, just getting deeper and deeper in the logic, basically as fast as it will let you. And it doesn't really cost that much time to do. He's going to be able to go over here, check out Mama Turtle. As long as he doesn't take Plasma Pirate hits, he'll be okay. Those guys do pack a punch. That
health is not great. And he can't even really get the Mama Turtle item. He can only get the one in the wall right now, because this without, I mean, he can see it. He'll be able to do a wall jump to see it, but actually getting it is not going to be. He needs something to get up there. Grapple beam, but it's just rupee, so it's a big who cares. Grapple beam would do it. Bombs would do it. You can do it with spring ball. High jump boots, I think you can jump to it, or might need speed booster with the high jump boots, but.
Yeah, most of the time finding out what item is somewhere is just as good as collecting it in SMZ3. There's a lot of blanks, and there's a lot of places you can route to. So just having that information can be really useful.
Here we're going to see a gravity jump. And I'm guessing we're going to see the watering hole and beach areas. Maybe he does scout some sand pits. He might do a snail clip to the aqueduct area. I
want to see this low percent ice wall jump. Come on, Azder.
There we go. Well, he had practice with it on Sunday in the multi-category tournament. So
yeah, that's a wall jump that, like, I catch crap from people about. It's a little tricky. You want to be further down on that ledge, and it doesn't look like you can really stand there. As oh man, Cheezinator getting stonewalled by Kraid there, but then finishing him off with a backup quick kill. But yeah, that wall jump, non-trivial, but it's a cool one.
Ooh, gets plasma beam for it, so not going to be missing plasma.
Yeah, it's a good early find, especially with Varia. That can be helpful for routing Lower Norfair. A lot of opportunity in Lower Norfair for you to just clip through enemies. And ooh,
oh wow.
That is a watering hole right there.
No snail clip for us today, because that is a speed booster and a glove. So that is a nice Meridia.
So speed booster means that we are a moon pearl away from being able to do productive stuff in the dark world. So that's kind of nice. Now, another interesting thing is that's not in logic.
No.
We do not have a logical way to access that speed booster and power glove. So one of the things that this normal mode does is put you through real mental contortions when it comes time to actually figure out what the seed wants you to have done.
Yep.
And comically, he might snail clip here, just because he doesn't have enough health for the spark.
No, he's taking the save just in case. He can go into the room next to room to the right of this area and do a pretty easy farm. He might choose to do that. Yeah,
I think that's probably the easiest thing. And yeah, we see being careful there, and then we'll see him come out and maybe do like a stutter 3 and then just spark up to check Aqueduct.
Yeah, just do a stutter 3, you know.
Well, there's a nice convenient landing space for it right here, so it's not too bad. And Cheezinator getting an E-Tank, nice stutter 3 tap for Mirror.
Oh, wow. I'm just thinking of some of the Meridias we've seen recently, and oh my god.
Someone want to like let Total know that Meridia's broken and has stuff this time? Because this is an unusually loaded Meridia. Normally Meridia's trash, so I'm happy to see it not being garbage today.
And we see another save, which means he's probably going to check a sand pit or two and reset if there's nothing there. I don't know if he does the full play to Dragon. The expectation is that eventually he'll be able to backdoor it anyway. So it wouldn't surprise me if he decides that this health situation is just not worth the trouble of doing it now. And there's a sword! Oh my god! I'm going to guess that's not the intended first sword. And he resets. Probably going to check the left sand pit. And if there's nothing there, reset again, grab the right sand pit, and grab that sword.
Yeah, and Cheezinator, meanwhile, finding the lower Norfair care package here, getting Plasma and Screw Attack already with his Varia suit. It's really interesting the way this seed is taking our runners in very different directions depending on which way they start to approach Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Azder went Brinstar and broke around Wave Beam to get his gravity, which took him to Meridia. Cheezinator went down Red Tower, found Varia, and finds himself in Upper Norfair, and we might see that old man play here real soon.
Looks like he is going to continue all the way on to Dragon. It's like nothing at the high jump boots area.
And he is going to stop here and farm up because other than Speed Booster, he doesn't have a great way to kill Dragon, so he might want some of those supers.
Yeah, and 2 tank Speed Booster Dragon kills? I mean, when you consider the possibility of chain damage, maybe not the safest way to do it. So he'll probably do some Speed Booster parts of it, and then maybe do supplement some ammo as well.
Yeah, I expect we won't see Azder go for a dash counterless Shine Spark kill. Shine Spark kill's really safe if you do have dash counter, though. So I expect we'll just see him get a couple dash frames if he wants to Shine Spark, because that'll prevent Blue Suit, and then Blue Suit's part of what causes the chain damage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of safe ways to do it.
And you might even see a save here before he goes in. Although, maybe not. I mean, he does have the save at Aqueduct, so it wouldn't be a huge loss. Oh, that's a Quake Medallion. That could be a thing, or it could be nothing. We don't know.
Yeah, you grab it.
Oh, absolutely, you grab it. If it could be a thing, you pick it up like it is going to be a thing.
Yeah, especially when it's in that sort of location. Like, that sword might be a thing, but there's a lot of opportunities to find a sword.
Yeah.
I think maybe post-Dragon we may still see Azder go do that, but it's also something that could very easily be skippable, so it's reasonable to leave it until later.
Yeah, and he may yet go back to that sandpit area. Go ahead and do another save scum. Still needs to check the left sandpit.
Yep, we're getting a bit of a Shine Spark and ammo kill here. See if Azder's able to take down Dragon. Not quite in the first cycle, but got some good damage in here. I think, this cycle, as long as he doesn't get gooped, should be good to go.
Yeah, and Azder having just, like we said, recently doing a low % ice race in the multi-category. Had 3 E-Tanks for that one, but a lot less ammo. So it's almost a luxury, the amount of ammo he has here.
And we see Cheezinator rescuing the old man using the hook shot to kind of see his way around the cave. Seems like maybe he got a little lost. Not sure. Without his audio, it's hard to tell. I think he's on the right track, and yeah, there he goes. He's through.
And
All
gets
that
a phaser.
for a beam he will hopefully
Never turn
turn on. But yeah, this is going to get Cheezinator that East Death Mountain play. I wouldn't be shocked to see Moon Pearl over here, honestly. But we'll see. This could turn into, a good situation for Cheezinator. As many things as azder has found, Cheezinator might get gated into going back to Brinstar and ending up in Meridia with both those suits pretty early. So, I'm kind of liking how this one's playing out so far. Very interesting.
Well, we're certainly learning a lot between the two of these guys. Completely different routing. Oh, and there's a hammer.
That is really nice. Hammer and shovel, for that matter. So we have hammer glove. We really just need that pearl.
Okay, now, azder's going to do that, safe scum.
Yeah. These locations that we're seeing Cheezinator check right now are definitely things that are going to be high on azder's list. So it's not like either one is going to miss out on these things.
Okay, azder's going to check the left sand pin. If he finds nothing, he'll reset and then go grab the sword, I think. If he finds something, he'll keep that sword in mind for later, but may never get it, depending on what other swords we have. That's a reserve tank and a grapple beam.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That is not what you want to find there. That is a terrible thing.
Well, it's hilarious because it's out of logic.
Yep.
There's no way for them to get up here, and that would be one of the ways for them to pass through Mount Everest, logically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that means that the Space Jumper bombs is out there somewhere.
Yep.
That's actually really cool, because the Speed Booster was also behind breaking through Everest.
Oh, are we going to get a Shack Tool play?
We're absolutely getting a Shack Tool play. It behooves azder to be thorough here.
Yeah,
in this matchup. I love this play.
Without high jump or space jump, he can do this. He's gonna have to do a really tricky gravity jump here. He's done it before. He knows how to do it.
Yeah, this does suck.
Yeah,
this is not a cool jump.
I was say I'm pretty certain this is not. I mean, of course, we're so far out of logic anyway. But this is, even if we were in logic up to this point, I do believe in SMZ3 you need to have either the high jump boost or the space jump to make this in logic.
Yeah, honestly, I would be a lot more tempted to turn off my gravity suit just to get door stuck to X-ray climb pants room here, because I would get that faster than I would get this gravity jump. Not even joking. I'm very bad at this gravity jump.
I think I've done it once in a practice run. It's a terrible jump.
Yeah, sand physics are not great, and then like you end up moving laterally in bad ways, and this is not a fun jump.
No. I'll see if he keeps going.
This looks good. He has good speed.
There it is.
Nice.
Okay, the rest
Nicely done.
is easy. Meanwhile, we see Cheezinator in the Tower of Hera. So he'll get his first crystal pretty soon.
Yeah, and this is nice. Just being able to get up here, knock out a crystal, always good. But yeah, who'd have thought? Sub 30, we're already getting the beloved Shack Tool check.
I mean, I can't say for sure, but I don't think I've ever seen a 30-minute Shack Tool check in an SMZ3.
I think I've done it at least once, but it doesn't come up all that often.
It really doesn't. Sure.
I think he punted that snail at least a yard. That thing took quite a beating. And
it's
just a quarter
piece of
heart.
heart. Okay, so he's now resetting again. That grapple beam, he probably doesn't care about at this point because he knows how anything else that involves grapple beam, he's perfectly capable of doing without grapple beam. So I'm gonna again say he's gonna go get that sword.
Yeah, I think sword is worth a little more than grapple beam here. Although, you know, there could be cases where he wants the grapple. There are a lot fewer than the cases where he wants the sword. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
I mean,
already having speed.
Like grapple is good for farming. You know, you don't have to. You have other ways of getting across the mode for wreck ship. With gravity suit, that's not a huge deal. X-ray, but Azure is perfectly capable of doing X-ray without a grapple beam, even without space jump. So there are, you know, high jump with speed booster makes that pretty easy. Bombs makes it pretty easy for him. Ice beam. So prioritizing the sword makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, 2 tanks and effective power suit because gravity suit doesn't reduce environmental damage. Not the safest X-ray check, but definitely something that's in range.
Yep. And I think we're gonna see the Kraid into Death Mountain from Azure here. He may decide to do the upper red tower and or the blue Bryn later. It's actually not even that bad to loop those together, either right before or right after a wreck ship play, if he decides to go that direction.
Yeah, I'm curious how beholden Azure is to the various suit logic, honestly. I'm just curious whether we might see him head over to, for instance, Crocomire, which is a pretty safe thing to do with Speed Booster. I'm curious whether he'll decide that that's a play that he wants to make.
I could see him doing that.
I think it would be very reasonable. I don't think it's a default play for anyone, but it's definitely something that you could make a case for. We do see Cheezinator choosing to do front of escape with a kind of crappy A Link to the Past loadout, rather than going and doing Brinstar, which is a lot more items. Neither of those things would result in a crystal, so I'm kind of surprised to see this play out of Cheezinator. It might be that he's just trying to do some things that will necessarily differentiate his route.
And he still just has, I believe he still has just the one power bomb pack. He really may be trying to avoid the Brinstar one power bomb check. Which, you know, I totally get. And something I do sometimes, although I don't know that I would go so far as escape or not. I mean, it just depends on the circumstances. But, you know, if he finds something, then might be wild before Azure gets over here.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on what's going on as far as the items that Cheezinator's finding. I've found myself doing like sub 15-minute front of escape and like greater than 2-hour front of escape, but very few front of escapes in between those windows. Like, it's just one of those things that you get to early or you get to last.
As you're picking up that reserve tank tells me he's already thinking in terms of potential hell runs at some point. Whether he's going to do them right now or not, don't know.
Yeah. Again, I'll restate that, you know, fanfares in Super Metroid are so short that if there's even a chance that you might want the item, if it doesn't require a routing modification, you just grab it.
Absolutely. And Cheezinator finding nothing so far in the front of escape. Looks like he's going to Death Warp and do Dark Cross. He did find both the key and the map, so there is an item there. And he may take this all the way to the back since he doesn't have the gloves yet to go there.
Oh, for sure. I like this play. You know you're guaranteed to get an item. Does have the key already, so... I mean, this is not just this one item that's out of logic because no lamp, but it's also 3 items that are also out of logic because the glove is out of logic, but we know that Azure has the tools he needs to get there. It'll be interesting as we start to stitch together this puzzle of what the game wanted us to do to get through Meridia.
Yeah.
because Grappling Beam and Speed Booster are two of the ways through Meridia,
Yep.
which is really quite dumb. And that glove means that getting Dark World access probably wasn't on the menu to go in backdoor to get to that location. So I'm like really keenly watching for bombs or space jump to kind of put it all back together.
Yeah, this Dark Mirror, the nice thing about Cheese doesn't have a sword, so he's using the hook shot again. But the hook shot one-shots all the enemies here, so at least it's pretty safe. Just a matter of knowing where you're going.
Yeah, this is a great indicator of the general SMZ3 tournament. Just two dark screens with sparkles and stuff wandering around.
Yep.
This is the action y'all came here for.
Oh, that's interesting.
Cheezinator.
Azder's not going to continue in Death Mountain. He's going to save and quit and do some other things.
Yeah, reasonable, especially because of the gloves.
Yeah, I think he's doing back of escape right now.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing... Yeah, the most important thing is to get that save quit spot. So whenever he decides he wants to do Hera, he's just going to save quit to Hera. To the old man, do the Hera play, do the East Death Mountain stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the money.
Yeah, nothing. But skipping race game looks like it is going to be a-okay for azder.
Yeah,
I doubt we're going to see him go back and get that 300.
Money's not going to be an issue at this point. Okay, now he's going to do the Death Mountain plays. Let's see if he goes up first or goes to the east side first. So we're going east first. Which, if I remember correctly, is going to work out really well, because I think the hammer was out over this way.
Yeah, we found the hammer and the shovel here in the bottom part of Paradox Cave. We haven't seen that shovel cashed in yet, and I'm beginning to get suspicious of that shovel, because we're starting to run out of locations. Cheezinator needs to be careful. This is not going great. I think this is Key Rat is what's going on right now. That would be...
He's got a key, though, so maybe I don't know where he is. This is so hard. Okay, he just opened a door. So he's... Okay, he just got through the Key Rat door. So
yeah, I think it was just getting out of Key Rat.
Yeah. Thankfully, he's not going to want to do much more after he opens this door. And we'll save and quit. Okay, and as you're saving and quitting out of Paradox Cave, let's see if he decides to go back and do... Okay, so he's going to go ahead and leave from here. I guess this is going to be the Hera play? Or not?
Yeah, this might be wrecked ship for azder.
Yeah, he could do it. I mean, yes.
Yeah, Cheezinator, I think we're going to see hit that Bryn loop, and looks like he's going for Gauntlet, which we haven't seen from azder either. I would not be surprised to see front of Gauntlet and Criteria Power Bombs enter azder's routing right about now.
Yeah, azder did not have enough power bombs to do this. Cheese doesn't have the power bombs either, but he's got that screw attack, so the screw attack will get him through.
Yeah, it needs to delay that second wall jump a little. There we go. It is. Nice, Cheezinator. Those wall jumps are a little tricky. Wall jumps are in normal logic. Those wall jumps...
Or not.
Shrug are not. It's very inconsistent which wall jumps are and aren't in logic, and you just kind of need to like go and dig through the logic to figure it out. It's pretty much any time you'd need to do a delayed wall jump, I think. But ooh,
another fetch quest.
Mushroom.
So we got a mushroom, we got a shovel. Where's the powder?
These are the seeds in normal logic that drive me mad. You get like 5 items down in an out of logic check, and you start to just like bend your brain to figure out where the heck you were supposed to be.
Yeah, sometimes I swear, sometimes stitching together the logic in a normal seed at the end is it's quite the exercise.
I've definitely fallen victim to normal logic at least once. Where so I later realized I did entire dungeons that I shouldn't have been in.
So this is so Azder's going to see the item at the front here, and he's just going to reset because he's already seen the back. Whereas Cheese is going to continue on through Brinstar.
Yeah, and I like this play from both runners. Azder is being mindful of the logic, but definitely not being a slave to it. And so it's good that he's not that he's keeping track of it, but not like really contorting his play to go hunt down the things that put it back into logic, because then he would have just ended up doing some rooms more slowly than he could have later.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the wreck ship play now.
Yeah, this is a good play from Azder. I like this based on how he's been approaching the seed so far.
Yeah, and this is a really safe play for him. Gravity suit, 2 E-tanks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider he's a new route runner where normally you'd be going to Phantoon with 1 tank and no suit, this will be a breeze for the Phantoon fight itself. And he can check everything in the wreck ship with that speed booster. Actually, with the gravity suit, you can check everything. Even the E-tank is easy with the gravity suit.
I wonder if Azder makes this play if he hasn't seen Wave Beam. That's just a really interesting one to me.
That is a really good question, because he and I have had long conversations about when you pick up something out of logic, not following it until the thing that puts it in logic is found.
Yeah, sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't.
Yep.
Especially with something like Wrecked Ship, which just could just be a major bust where you lose 4 to 5 minutes over the come in and kill Phantoon play. Wrecked Ship is not anyone's favorite area in SMZ3.
Not at all.
And so if Gravity Suit were still out of logic, we would be basically breaking around like at least 2 or 3 spheres. And so it would be possible that like that glove and speed booster or something end up being a part of the go mode solution. So it would be really interesting if he made that play without having wave.
Actually, no charge beam means he can't do any kind of microwave strats here, but Doppler's going to be just fine for him.
He can. Phantoon just won't be susceptible to it.
That's true.
he could pause that plasma beam all day long.
He could.
But rightly going for some Dopplers here.
Oh, almost got the two round there, but not quite. I think if he'd hit with that super, it might have been a mite early though.
I think it would have been good, but unfortunately getting punished with the old left slow.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the fast eye close. What a jerk. Okay, fast reappear, not so bad.
Yeah, when you miss that shot like he did there, Phantoon goes into what we call the invisible phase, which also has a fast, mid, and slow pattern. Fortunately for Azder, there was the fast one, so it didn't get too punished for missing. So Cheezinator going to get his gravity suit really soon.
Yeah, Cheezinator with double suit action. I'm wondering what he's going to do with that, though. Whether he's going to keep it in logic or if he's going to break and do the gravity jump through Meridia. There's a good amount of item density there, but like Wrecked Ship, front of Meridia is one of those regions that you sometimes see runners want to stay away from just because you can think of it like a pendant dungeon, right? Like you could just go in, kill Phantoon, or just backdoor in, kill Dragon, leave and save a bunch of time if you don't have to go there. I'm getting suspicious of that shovel and that desert right now.
Yep, we do have that book. Yeah, I've compared Meridia to Pod, just because there's so many different routes and so many different places. You don't just take one little route. Like Pod, you're always mirroring out and starting over. Meridia, you have that save point over at Aqueduct, and you do all the save scums to all the different locations.
And we see
Azder leaving.
Just getting the boss out of the way and then leaving. With it being out of logic, I kind of like this. It's just ticking off the thing that you know is going to be productive, giving the game a chance to give you something good, and then just saying, you know what, I'll come back later if I really need to. It's against what we saw him doing in terms of being thorough with some of the out of logic checks, so this is a little interesting in the sense that it at first looks a little disparate philosophically relative to kind of the other plays we saw him pursuing. But I do think it's at least consistent in the sense that, if you're tracking the logic, the odds of finding something there are a little lower.
And azder is actually rather famous, or maybe even infamous, for his upper rec ship skips in the Super Metroid only randomizer. And he usually when he does that, it's not like an always or never thing. Some people just think he always does it, but he definitely has a thought process when he makes the decision to skip that upper area. And I don't know what that thought process is this time, but he definitely, I guarantee you, he has a thought in mind why he decided to do that, and has a thought in mind of when he'll get back to it if he decides that he needs to.
Yeah, and there's the bow for Cheezinator. I saw Polar Bear Bunny was calling for the bow earlier in chat, so probably very excited.
But yeah, I mean, azder right now is in a situation where not everything's in logic, but he literally can just full clear Super Metroid if he wants to. Like, he has everything he could possibly need to do it. Now, is he going to do that? Probably not. It's not in logic. Like Lower Norfair in particular is not yet in logic. In fact, now that I think about it, he would have to do the pixel perfect wall jump through Worst Room, which I don't think he's great at. So I don't think we'll see that, but definitely is doable if you wanted to go for it.
Yeah, and not to belabor it at all, but I do want to kind of come to azder's defense a little bit. I feel like he catches crap from people about the upper rec ship skip, and
oh, he does, and he shouldn't.
I was gonna say it's very much like not a him play. It's not like it's something that he does that nobody else does.
So true.
Which is hilarious that he gets his name stuck on it to me. I always find it funny, but I'm not gonna talk too much about it. It's not something that he's like a super huge fan of either as a play. It's just like sometimes you make that call.
So this is interesting. It looks like he actually didn't want to go down Red Tower. It looks like he's trying to Shine Spark back up. Okay, he's gonna give up on that.
Yeah, not sure where he wants to go from that. Maybe he wanted to try and do X-Ray?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he wanted to get back over to the Blue Brinstar area, which we know has some stuff that he's going to have to get to at some point. So I believe that's where we saw the bow on Cheese's side.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to just hit the Death Mountain portal and then hard reset to the ship and get back to that stuff pretty quickly.
Yep.
And so it's easier to do that for most people than it is to do the Red Tower Spark, but it's also faster to do the Red Tower Spark if you get it in like the first 8 tries, which unfortunately was not what was happening. It's a pretty tight charge. I know I can't get it. I don't have it in range.
Yeah, and that Spark will never be in logic. Let's see. Is he going to go back for that screw attack? Nope.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We may see him grab that on his way down. Looks like Cheezinator is just going to scout the item here. Doesn't yet have the speed booster from that watering hole. But we'll see if this is going to be something he's going to want to come back to. Oh, He's going to want that green rupee. It's very important with all the 300 rupees that we've already found.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need it until he gets the other green rupee. You got to get him as a pair, right?
I don't think you can get them as a pair unless you're on azder's side.
Oh, okay. Didn't quite get the mock ball. It doesn't matter. He'll be able to just power bomb his way out.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We'll see how far he carries his play, if he takes it all the way down through Lower Norfair or not.
Yeah, it looks like we're at least going to get Bubble Mountain. And he's going to go through this the long way so he can make sure he doesn't skip the Cathedral item here.
Yeah, and here's that book. We'll see if Cheezinator decides to take it over to Desert. I'm really curious. Still, I want to see this Desert play. I want to see this shovel location.
Mm-hmm.
I have to know. I want to see how this all comes back together.
And we also have that Autologic Mushroom on Azure's side. Okay, to piggyback on the desert is not in logic. Well, we don't know whether it's boots locked or not. So the desert could be, well, it won't be full clear, but I don't believe we have a fire source yet. But we can certainly do the front of it if it's not boots locked.
Yeah, we can get to the ledge. We still haven't seen Agina. I mean, there's a lot of stuff over that way that we haven't gotten to yet. I was expecting Cheezinator to get echoes there as he was headed toward the chip, but he doesn't have the speed booster yet.
Doesn't have it yet.
It is, of course, by that power glove in the watering hole in Meridia, but out of logic. So I'm curious if Cheezinator is committed to staying in logic. I mean, he's clearly not because of the dark rooms and stuff, but I'm wondering like how close to logic he wants to stay.
Yeah, but the staying in logic in Super Metroid versus staying in logic in Link to the Past, if you're better at Link to the Past, I think it's a little more likely that you maybe go out of logic there and maybe stay in logic on SM. Now Azure's really good at both games, so he's perfectly happy to go out of logic, but he will keep track of it. It looks like we can get an Eastern play here. Yeah, he's got that bow, so you can just go ahead and full clear Eastern.
Yeah, this seems very reasonable. Dark rooms in Eastern, not too bad to do, although I'm really bad at the back one for no good reason.
Yeah, the back one is the more difficult one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, 8 hearts and fairies right outside if things start to go wrong. I'm not too worried about it. We have a question about, is Meridia in logic now? And the answer is no. The grappling beam, which would let you get through Mount Everest, and the speed booster, both of which we saw Azder get at least at one point, are both behind the ability to either get through Everest forward or get to it backward. Getting to it backward would require Dark World access plus flippers, which we do not yet have, and getting to it forward requires us to find either the space jump or the bombs as the remaining things that we could still find to get us through there.
I see the calls for a possible Agaseed. Tell you right now, unless it's Moon Pearl on Pyramid Ledge, Azur's not doing Aga. And I think we're going to get the croc play right now.
Yeah, and I like this check. It's being thorough with a big area of items that's open. There's what, 5 or 6 associated checks. It's pretty good. I also like what Cheezinator's doing because you're guaranteed to get a crystal. You're gonna have to come through here at some point. And he just got that bow, so he's able to finish it. So far, not too much going on in Eastern. Let's see what Croc's got. To lead it off, just a missile pack.
Yeah, I think that Azur's picking up a lot of this ammo in Super Metroid. You know, like you said, it's pretty free to pick up things in Super Metroid in the way this randomizer does things. And we don't have a charge beam yet, so I know I tend to like to pick up ammo until I have that charge beam. And a lot of times you have to supplement those supers with those missiles to finish off, say, the Mother Brain fight or a Ridley fight. And
oh, close.
All right, and she still doesn't have a sword.
That is correct. I forget where the sword was, but
it was right sand pit. So
oh yeah, the out of
so
logic
we have yet
sword.
to find we haven't found a logical sword yet. And if he finds one here, it still won't be in logic because we don't have a lamp.
Yeah.
But we get a nice rod.
Alas, it might be useful. It's like slightly over 50% useful. Oh, there's the lamp.
Hey, there's a lamp.
If you find the sword here, now it would be in logic.
And lamp especially important because it is a fire source. We don't know where fire rod's going to be. We don't know where it's going to show up. We haven't seen our pendants and crystals in the Dark World. It is entirely possible if Turtle Rock and Skull Woods are both pendants, we may not even need the fire rod.
That was incredibly greedy from azder. I'm kind of glad he got punished for it. It wasn't too bad of a punishment. But deciding to charge the spark and then just deciding to go for the mock ball into trying to spark and running out of timer was that was a gem right there.
And double power bombs down here. Yeah, the thing is, you don't need to do like what he did there. You don't need to do that. You can actually just jump with. He doesn't have high jump boots, and I think that's why he did that shine spark the way he did. But if you jump at the right spot, you can still make that jump without actually doing a shine spark. No need to actually do that little bit of a wall jump into the shine spark.
Absolutely. It can be a little tricky to get that. If you just have full run speed though and you jump at the end of the ramp, you will make it, but it's a little tight without high jump boots.
Yeah, it's a lot more precise when you don't have the high jump boots.
And Cheezinator deciding to go with bomb strats here on the Popos. Unfortunately, it was not the Popo genocide that he wanted. It was just like 2 Popos. Not so good. Now this showing off some short charges.
Yeah, that he does need to shine spark since he doesn't have the grapple beam, doesn't have the space jump. Speed plus high jump will allow you to jump up there without doing a shine spark. We didn't have that either.
Yeah, neither player really getting anything out of those last plays, except Cheezinator does net a crystal. Is keeping his mind on progressing the seed toward completion with Hera and Eastern already done. Not long dungeons, but those are things that Azur's going to have to do at some point.
Yeah, it looks like Azur's going to go ahead and do Tower of Hera now. He may have been waiting for that fire source, or as long as he can, just in case. I don't recall where the big key was. I know Cheezinator did not do the basement because he did not have a fire source, but he did have a hook shot, so I could have missed him Hera potting or something.
No, we didn't see a Hera pot.
Okay, we didn't see a Hera pot, so he doesn't actually need that fire source.
Yeah, we will find out about the tablet here with the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember whether there's an item in the basement or not, but gotta go fast with the speed booster already known. That sounds like probably Pegasus boots.
Yeah, sounds like Pegasus boots to me. And unfortunately, no Master Swords, so we can only read about it. We can't actually pick them up.
Yeah, but like we said, just having the knowledge in this game of where the boots are, that's a big advantage for azder at this point. Because who knows when Cheezinator gets back up to, of all things, Ether Tablet. There is our glove and speed booster and grab. Everything is in logic now.
What a horrible way to put it in logic too, with the bombs. If you're gonna play this game, I highly recommend learning those gravity jumps, just so you don't have to do those kind of IBJs. Because even if you're good at them, and I feel like I'm pretty good at them, they're still slow.
How do you feel about spring ball jumps?
I feel better about spring ball jumps than I do about IBJing when it comes right down to it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that spring ball. So's Cheezinator. He is going to go get that. azder doesn't have the boots, but is in the right 2-pixel window to get his bomb jump, so makes it cleanly across the big chest.
Not gonna lie though, I find Spring Ball more fun when it's hard mode. Like, oh, that can actually be progression for something. Of course, not my favorite progression, but you know,
Yeah.
the meaning of Spring Ball is just so much more.
So Spring Ball was progression in the normal mode for a long time, and then they recently removed it from progression, which it made me sad. It used to be part of the logical access to rect ship.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I don't know why they removed that, but they did. Doesn't really make any sense, but that's kind of this game. There's a lot of very, very arbitrary things in the logic, and so the unfortunate part is that as a player, you just kind of have to keep track of a bunch of them and figure out which mode you're playing and what you can and can't do.
Okay, didn't realize this when Cheese went through. It turns out there is an item in the basement, and Azder's going to go back in and get it. Cheese could not. He did not have the lamp.
Yes, this is a new check, and it's also a check that Cheezinator will be probably pretty late to if it is progression.
Yep, Cheese does pick up that Spring Ball. Looks like he wanted to get that before actually checking out the dungeon because he's going back in.
Yeah, and that can actually be good if he finds, for instance, the glove that he needs to do the back of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'll be able to death warp out using the cannonballs and get right to the back pretty easily. So it's not actually all lost time if he decides he does want to proceed in the dungeon from this point.
Yeah, except he needs both a glove and a fire source.
Oh, yeah. No lamp on Cheezinator's side yet. So yeah, he's not completing the dungeon. Never mind. He just wanted to get a Spring Ball.
And just rupees.
Or more power bombs.
So neither one getting a payout from those checks.
Yeah, but that puts two things, on the map. Now that the desert was a 5/6 crystal, so he could need to come back here sooner than he might otherwise want to. But at least he knows there's not an extra item waiting for him. Now, we didn't see Cheezinator go do the shovel spot, did we?
We have not seen shovel yet. They both have it. Neither one's done it.
That's a super weird skip when you're already going over that way. Mm-hmm. But I guess without glove, I mean, that is a lot of backtracking. But I wouldn't want to leave that one for so long.
Okay, Azder can do the front of escape now. If I recall, there was nothing here.
Yeah, we're going to see that bubble mountain again from Cheezinator. Does beat the Sova there. Makes it up before the Sova catches him and knocks him out of his bomb jump.
So yeah, once again, we get to see the checks that the others already done. We'll see how long it takes Azder to get to the Blue Brinstar. I mean, if you think about it, we're just over an hour in, and think about all the checks that Azder's already done in Super Metroid. He hasn't done the top of Wreck Ship, he hasn't done Lower Norfair, and he hasn't done Blue Brinstar. He's done basically everything else. With he hasn't done Plasma or X-Ray, but basically everything else has been checked.
Yeah, both players are being pretty thorough with what they're able to do.
Okay, to the statement about Shine Sparking Lava Dive, first of all, that's not easy, and second of all, it's definitely not in normal logic. And technically, it's not even hard logic, because if you have a gravity suit, you don't need to Shine Spark that. You can just do a gravity jump, so...
It's okay. I'm just waiting for all these savants to just put up 44s out of nowhere. I know it's coming. All the chat savants are ready to show us the hot tech.
What is it? What is it? Stutter 2 to do the lava spark? Maybe even a 3? I'm not even sure, but it's definitely involves stuttering. And anything that involves stuttering is just...
Yeah. It's a tight stutter 3 through a doorway.
Yep.
It's non-trivial.
No,
because you have to charge
non-trivial.
like right on the edge, then get the deboost off the Namahe flame.
Yep.
It's not just the short charge.
I mean, it looks easy if you watch Zost do it, but that's Zost. So. And he doesn't even get it all the time. So. Okay, Azure gets bad news that there's nothing in the front of Escape, and let's see, where is he going to go now? Maybe gonna check that shovel? Check the shovel?
We're
No.
running low on things that it could be. Why are you not checking the shovel? What are you guys? They're listening to me and they're tormenting me.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I hate them for it.
Azure's one of those funny players, though. He will waffle in his decisions sometimes, and you'll see that he had one idea and then decided to go with something else, and that's what we're seeing here. Going back into Super Metroid in the Norfair area. I wonder if this is going to be a early. I mean, he has nothing else to do here. He's just lower Norfair now.
Yeah, this is a nice little gravity jump that's gonna give him access here. I like how he's setting this up. This is probably the easiest way to set this up. Get a little bit of walking speed on that ledge below the Namahe Flame. Without high jump boots, you're able to then just basically do the tail end of what feels a lot like high jumpless lava dive for executing this entry to lower Norfair, and it's not so bad.
And she's gonna do it as well.
He did break spin, although it looks like our players might be converging on the same sequence break.
Now, the one difference is Azure doesn't have those bombs for Worst Room that Cheezinator has. Whereas I think Azure's gonna have a little bit easier time with this gravity jump, but Cheese gets it. Okay.
Yeah, those first two wall jumps were not in a cozy place.
No.
But then he did drop down and beat the Namahe Flame, so got it okay. Azure also looking like he's in good shape, getting it cleanly, and both runners are into lower Norfair. Now, what do we have that's in logic right now as far as checks? Is it just the shovel? Does it have to be shovel at this point?
We have the shovel. Plasma beam?
Do we have cape? Do we have pyramid ledge? I think we have cape.
Do we have cape? I think, yeah. I want to say we have cape. Oh, yeah, top of our ship.
Wrecked ship is in logic now. That's true because of the morph ball bombs. So we have upper wrecked ship, and we have pyramid, and we have shovel, which is like a taster's choice of, things that I'm not excited about here.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So it's a taster's choice of terrible coffees.
So, as you're making quick work of that green gate, Cheezinator working on it, it may very well be that Azure's just going to do the GT area, since he doesn't have a good way through Worst Room. Grabs that reserve tank. A little surprised that he grabs that reserve tank at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Azure's one of the players whom I could see having at least passable competence in the Worst Room wall jump, but it's definitely not something that most players are looking to do.
Yeah, I've seen him go for it before and fail. So.
Yeah, he said he's lost a half hour on it because he he fell at Mickey Mouse and had to do it twice or something absolutely ludicrous. When I was chatting with him post race, it might have been like the last time I beat him in one of the community races, where I was like, "What happened to Azure? Oh, this horror story." So we do see Azure. A, dropping his missiles so that GT will stop doing the stupid crescent attack. But B, a player who will reasonably go for some of these more technical things. But I think if he assesses it out of range of his opponent, that he probably won't push it in a race like this, just because if it goes wrong, he can lose so much time to it.
And there's nothing here. Oh,
and
get our first
our
map track. Green pendant swamp, pendant ice,
pendant thieves, and red crystal turtle rock.
Pendant thieves, ew. That's
of course, it's pendant thieves.
Yeah, pendant thieves is just. I talk about it all the time. I just hate pendant thieves. It's just there's never. It always seems to have something, and there's never an indication that you have to go there.
Yeah, so it looks like Cheezinator is going to try and set up the Super Bunny here. Going to try and get knocked in. It looked like he took damage through the door transition. This looks good. Super Bunny active. Look at that bunny. Very
and
super.
just rupees. And I didn't see it was in Checkerboard Cave there. Azure might just do the Super Bunny with the mirror.
Yeah, I prefer the mirror way. Definitely like making the check.
Yeah, he's trying to do it with the mirror. My understanding is you got a mirror as you enter the door.
Yeah, you mirror on the frame that you transition into the doorway. Same thing as you transition in the doorway, the frame you take damage from the weird Chibi Ridley.
Okay, Azure can do Desert. Gonna get this Spring Ball. Actually, this Spring Ball is really big for him, because now he's got a way through Worst Room.
That is easy Worst Room passage, so Mirror showing up pretty big for him. But we are going to see him clear Desert out here.
Yep.
Now, where was that lamp?
The lamp was in Cosine Missiles down beyond
right.
Croc.
Croc's lair.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that means that he has everything he needs, minus knowledge about Morph Ball Bombs, but doesn't really need that to full clear Desert. So I suspect we're going to see that get done right now.
Yeah, sure, for sure. And Cheezinator going to farm up with these Rippers here. Pretty much 100% chance they're going to drop supers. Not quite. Every once in a while, you'll see them drop a big health instead. Of course, if you have full supers, they're going to drop big health. And she's going to... This isn't a terrible setup for lower Norfair. That screw attacks can help him out a lot. But not exactly a cozy lower Norfair for sure. I often talk about lower Norfair as my favorite part of the game, just because the flavor of what it's going to be is very dependent on your item set, and I like the fact that you can have a very different experience in lower Norfair based on the items Cheese has, the items Azure has, having all the items to make it easy, having none of the items to make it easy. It's so disparate depending on your items. I mean, that's true of a lot of Super Metroid, but I just feel like lower Norfair really highlights it.
Yeah, lower Norfair definitely has a huge disparity in the execution floor that's required as a function of loadout. Screw attack is one of the biggest items in terms of helping sort of lower the barrier for executing, just because being able to deal approximately 1 billion damage per frame to enemies, to kill them all in one hit, and to also be impervious to a lot of attacks, as we just saw with that Namahe Flame. Those things really make a huge difference when the enemies hit as hard as they do in lower Norfair.
Oh, and there's a sword. Wow.
All right, so that's another out of logic sword. Yep. Although the first sword is back in logic now.
No, that's a good point.
So we could have out of logic boots. That's an option. We now have our master sword out of logic. Can I just say this seed sucks? Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, although there's still lots of stuff that we haven't seen. Although I guess it's mostly upper rec ship that we haven't seen.
Yeah, we have upper rec ship and the flippin' shovel.
Yeah.
I swear, when it's Moon Pearl on shovel, I'm just gonna sit back in my chair and smile. Because they deserve it. I'm not resentful. Yeah, that ties it up for Azure with crystals, and Azure is way ahead on Super Metroid bosses. So far, looking pretty good. And Cheezinator finding the charge beam there at Power Bomb's a shame. That's a nice little find.
And Azure, oh wait, he's pulling out the mirror. I thought he was going to go back into lower Norfair and use that spring wall to get through worst room, but he's... Oh, he could go... Yeah, he's probably going to head over to Agina's cave. He's got to route his way around. Yeah, this will... Yeah, he needs to be a little bit further down and right, I think. Or maybe just... Yeah, this should work. Just wants to have that mirror portal in a place that he can get back to the Dark World. Because I think he's still planning on going back into lower Norfair at this point.
Yeah, a lot of lag here for Cheezinator, but he's going to find his way over to Ridley. With that charge beam now, that's going to make this a lot cozier. So I don't even think we're going to see too much of a farm here. Yeah, he may have been planning on filling up on supers. But,
Yep. 31 is good. If he misses one, he can miss one and not have to rely on other ammo. But for every additional one he misses, 6 missiles will take care of it. And he's got 70 missiles, so he should be fine. And having just found that charge room, he won't soft lock, but I think he's charge wave, if I'm not mistaken. Which by itself is a... Oh, he has plasma. Oh, that's only a 24-shot fight. He's fine.
Yeah,
this won't be a problem.
That's a pretty nice fight, honestly.
Yeah,
like, you can do it however you want.
Supers are generally higher DPS. The reason you'll see in an any percent run, you'll see runners will typically use the charge ice wave plasma and not use supers. Is well, one, you only get like 10 supers, but also you want to save those supers more for Torian anyway, not have to refill or farm them.
Yep, and azder going for the double bomb jump, a little risky with the room this tall because you do tend to fall out of pattern, but he does make it up cleanly. Glad I didn't curse him on that one.
Yeah,
but,
he had options. Yeah, he had options together. He could have speed boosted from the other room. He could have spring ball jumped. The spring ball jump is actually a little bit tricky without high jump there. With high jump, it's pretty free.
Yeah, and I see people wanting progression at Ridley, but I mean, that could happen. It didn't this time. The super missiles are useful. But just to remind everyone, this is still out of logic for our runners, so they'll be keeping track of what they do and don't find here.
Yep. And the thing is, you're still going to check everything, of course. You don't want to come back down here. And B, I already compared Meridia to Pod in the way it can be routed. I tend to compare Lower Norfair to Turtle Rock, the dungeon that go moding basically is meaningless. And not completely meaningless, but pretty darn close, So go mode Lower Norfair is not significantly different than a not go mode Lower Norfair. Like right now, azder will check the Mickey Mouse missiles. That's the spot you skip if you're go moding this.
Yeah, go mode, however, still quite a ways off.
Oh god, we are so far away from that.
I was gonna say, so I don't really want to talk about go mode yet. We need a lot more items before we even think about that one.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to start counting that. But after azder finishes up the Lower Norfair play, he'll have that again, the upper wreck ship in the blue Brinstar area left in Super Metroid, and that'll be it. Cheezinator still has all of wreck ship plus plus large portions of Meridia. Actually, has he even been in Meridia at all? I don't think so.
He has not yet touched Meridia.
Yeah.
So he came down to Lower Norfair from his bombs find first.
Right.
So he still has all of Meridia, all of wrecked ship. And then the shovel, and the shovel. I think there's something
well, he's also got Croc. Yeah, he's got Croc. And did he do Bubble Mountain? I don't think he's done Bubble Mountain yet.
So he bomb jumped into Bubble Mountain.
Okay, gotcha.
He did some IBJs to get through the pre-cathedral room and kind of went through that way.
Okay, as you're going to check Firefly first here. Probably hoping for something that'll help him out.
Cheezinator dissing the blue boomerang.
Doesn't want a blue boomerang.
I am discontent.
That's like
Clearly,
3 straight runners, because
Yeah.
both runners in the earlier match skipped the blue boomerang.
The disrespect for Blue Boomerang today is strong, which means that these are not seasoned A Link to the Past NMG no save and quit runners. I think we're going to see Azder get his Blue Boomerang. He's got the A Link to the Past reps to mean that, you know, he can appreciate what the Blue Boomerang can do for him. I think we'll see him pick it up.
Well, if nothing else, it's a good item to have in your menu just to make menuing a bit easier. And I know he's big on that sort of thing. Okay, Chee's going to do the parts of Bubble Mountain he didn't do earlier, which is really nice routing to get this right out of Lower Norfair.
Yeah, you get spit out into single chamber here, right by double chamber, so it's very easy to do wave beam on the way out. The reserve and speed booster are a little more questionable, and I think that we saw Cheezinator do at least the reserve on the way in, unless he botched the jump. But looks like a green door here at speed booster, so he hasn't done that check.
Yeah, you can see there's a pink square in his map for the reserve area. He's definitely been over there. So Azure now has his charge beam.
Yeah, Azure getting lower on health, definitely comfortable with fights, but we might see him choose to farm up a little bit of health, but no, doesn't look like it.
No.
Looks like he's just going to roll on in.
Well, he's got like 3 reserve tanks or something stupid like that. Don't know how much is in them.
I was gonna say,
I don't know what's in them, but he's got some reserve tanks for sure. But heck, he just did low percent ice Ridley, like 3 low percent ice Ridleys last weekend. So, and if you want to see the story of how that happened, please just watch the VOD. I can't even begin to describe that race.
Yeah, so far having a pretty clean fight. Looks like Cheezinator is going to go down toward Crocomire, and looks like he'll find his lamp sometime soon.
Yeah, that'll be good for him. Yeah, Azure has having no trouble with Ridley there.
All right, Azure. This is the one time I need you to prove me right here. Please get this blue boomerang. Like, don't continue the day of disrespect for poor Blue Boom. Blue Boomerang has had a heck of a bad day. I don't remember where it was earlier, but
yeah, I forget where it was too.
It wasn't even a hard spot to grab in the earlier race, and both players were just like, "Yeah, screw it, screw you, Blue Boomerang."
I mean, I
don't need your time save.
You know, if it was like in PBs in jail or something where you have to do a bunch of extra door transitions and work your way around, yeah, I could see it. But this was just free, it's just sitting there. No 7-second fanfare like in normal Super Metroid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, but like, there's no fanfare. It's like 2 seconds of movement. Here, I think it would have cost fewer than 4 seconds to get the blue boomerang. And Azder is mindful of his health, is going to use that plasma wave to take care of some of the key hunters here in Red Key Hunter Shaft.
Yeah,
this guy, if he's a jerk, he can drop down on you, but looks okay. Yeah,
that plasma beam is super helpful. Azure was able to just clip through it that way, which is nice. And those key hunters, even with both gravity and Varia, that'll do 50 damage per hit, so very dangerous. And that's the E-Tank. That's the location you don't want to see that E-Tank, because it's not one you're going to go out of your way to get, but if it was just sitting there, you'd probably grab it.
Yeah, there are very few times I'm going to get that E-Tank.
But see where he picked up that heart piece, if the E-Tank's sitting there, then I grab it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I've skipped space jump in that spot, and most people know very well that's my favorite item, so... That's how much I dislike that spot.
Not a great spot. And there's the
Oh
lamp for Cheezinator.
no!
Oh, come on!
Azder, no!
Come on, man.
Wow. Yeah, I thought he'd pick that up. I did. Okay. So Cheezinator are gonna have to do
No
this the
dust
long,
then.
slow way because he does not have speed booster.
I'm just gonna be salty for like the rest of this commentary.
0 for 4 on picking up the blue boomerang today. What are these runners thinking? Just disqualify them all. I mean, I'm an organizer. I could do that, right?
Could you please? that could if you just put azder through to the finals and then DQ him, that would be great.
Well, and the funny
I'd take that.
and the funny thing is, the winner of this race is actually going to play Ninjembro, who was the winner of the earlier race today. So
yeah, heck Ninjembro and his hate of the blue boomerang. I'm gonna give that guy a phone call later and yell at him.
Okay, as you're leaving Super Metroid again, let's see. He's gonna go get those boots. That's exactly what he's gonna do right now.
Ninjembro in chat, knowing exactly what he did, asking what he did, just to incense me more. Hater of the blue boomerang, Ninjembro. I gave him a pass earlier because he doesn't run NMG ever. And it shows. Got him! No. Azder gets his boots, having that Outer Logic Master Sword, and is going to be moving fast now.
See if he checks those boots checks.
Can we please
hey,
get
look, he just
a shovel? Oh, he menued to shovel like it mattered.
I think we're doing boots checks into mushroom check.
It's like the randomizer is cognizant and has a sense of humor. These runners are very like metacognizant of what's going on in commentary and are just straight up trolling me right now.
And we saw bombs at the bonk rocks. And not gonna do. No, he doesn't admit you can't do kick.
Yeah,
never mind.
We're going straight for that mushroom turn in. Because the Outer Logic fetch quest. No, or wait, no, this is Wreck Ship Attic, wasn't it? Where's
no,
Mushroom
this
again?
was
Or
somewhere
no,
in Meridia.
It's back in Meridia.
It's in Logic
so
now because of the bombs.
It's in Logic now, yeah. But Azder doesn't know it's... Or no, he got the bombs. Never mind. Yeah, so... See, it's in Logic. This is fair.
And a bottle.
Turn
honestly,
it in.
I was gonna say with that kind of money, I probably would have just gone and bought a potion while I'm sitting there with 836 rupees.
He menued to the shovel. He's gonna run right by it. This is a good time to turn the shovel in and also
and
check that bottle. All right, here it is. We could have been here like an hour ago. What do we got?
Oh my god. So that sick kid's got to be something, right? 2 fetch quests to sick kid.
No,
it really doesn't, but...
when things get doubly put in Logic...
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I agree.
It actually is less good than them being singly put in Logic. But we'll see what Sick Kid has today. But it's looking like Upper Wreck Ship.
No, and Azder still needs to get that bow in the Blue Brinster area, so he might do that first. Just a piece of heart.
Yep. Let's go to Wreck Ship.
And Cheezinator finally getting into Meridia. And Azder going back to... Okay, no, he's back in Death Mountain. Where are we going?
Oh, yeah, we have So he has X-ray and parts of Retro that are left, but I don't think he wants to go this way to that thing.
Yeah, I would think he would want to reset to the ship.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, he could hit the
Maybe he just
floaters
really
refill.
wants. Honestly, maybe he just really wants his Red Tower Spark. He was really into it earlier.
Well, he's got bombs now, so he's got other options.
Yeah, the IBJ is kind of slow.
Well, the IBJ sucks.
Yeah, I think ship to oh, is he? No, he got Shack Tool earlier. I don't know where he wants to go. Maybe Plasma.
Yeah, Plasma.
This looks like Plasma.
Oh, you know what he could do? He could take Plasma into the. That's so slow. He could take Plasma into the wreck ship. That's not faster. Forgotten Highway is definitely not faster than. Sloaters actually did a comparison not too long ago. And discovered that if you have the right equipment, i.e. mostly space jump, but a few other things as well that make it easier, like maybe high jump boots or screw attack, then it actually is faster to go from Plasma Beam to the wreck ship and take the Forgotten Highway. But Azure doesn't have any of those things, so he just wants to do this one-off check, I assume. And then he could just reset to the ship if it's nothing.
Yeah. Forgotten Highway through Upper Wrecked Ship through Blue Brain is sort of a clean route, but it's kind of long.
Yeah.
Not really the way you want to go. I think this is going to be a reset.
I think, well, if this item's good, obviously he won't reset. But if it's not, then I think we'll get a reset, and then he'll have to choose between Upper Wreck Ship or Retro Brin. Probably will get to Retro Brin eventually, because we know something's there. Eventually he's going to have to get there. Not even going to kill the pirates until he knows what the... Oh, it's a tempered sword. Is he going to keep it? He's going to keep it. Okay.
I think that's a keeper right now.
I think it is, yeah. Okay, Cheese getting his speed booster, going to get his gloves.
That spark not doing what it was intended to do. It was close, though. That'll do. That'll kill the pirate. And he was supposed to deboost off the French fry. A little tricky.
Okay, and he's mindful of his health, so you notice that he jumped up before doing the actual Shine Spark there. Yeah, I really wonder what's in those reserve tanks, because Azure is one of those players that's really good about, using crystal flashes in what you wouldn't normally think of as crystal flash situations, namely not hell runs and such. He has plenty of ammo to do it if that's what he wants to do. Looks like he is going to go wreck ship here, though. Cheese going to get his mirror.
Yep. Got his glove, getting his mirror. He's going to get all these riches, that speed booster, everything that we saw Azure get in Meridia quite literally an hour ago. It hasn't really turned into anything for him, though.
Because we don't have a Moon Pearl.
He's ahead, but not by a whole heck of a lot, given the time disparity between runners arriving at this juncture. That's kind of how SMZ3 goes, though.
Yeah.
Runners do things in vastly different orders and slowly sweep out a bunch of stuff, and some stuff you have worse movement for, some stuff you have better movement for. But everyone kind of clears everything.
Yeah.
And then you see where everything ends up being at the very end, unless someone gets lucky and actually finds go mode.
Yeah, and I hope for Azure's sake, he might be thinking that I'm just going to finish full clearing Super Metroid regardless. He still has that Retro Brinary, and he has to get there at some point. It is a bow. This is not Link to the Past where you have multiple bows. There's just the one. He's going to have to get it at some point. And if there's enough good stuff in the top of Wreck Ship, it might be a while before he gets back there, unless he does take that attitude of, I'm just going to finish clearing Super Metroid because I can, and then never have to come back here again. And a vanilla E-Tank, but you know what? That's a really good place for a vanilla E-Tank.
If I'm Azure, I'm not even that sad about that one.
No, not at all. This will actually it'll speed him up a little bit because now he doesn't have to play super safe through Spiky Room of Death. He can take more risks and just jump across here and not be careful.
Yeah, but I don't think he takes damage there or really wants to use a deboost strat. So, like, there's not that much risk in that room if you just, you know, kind of do it medium fast. Especially with both suits, it's pretty safe. Yeah, we do see this upper wrecked ship that was skipped a while ago. Now, if something shows up here, we know Azder's going to be the first person here. Do you think he feels behind if he finds something here?
Azder always feels behind. Yes.
I think if it's Aghanim, that he feels kind of okay because, like, you're pretty much going to full clear into Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure about upper wrecked ship.
Oh, those are mitts. That may distract him away from Retro Brinstar.
Yeah, that's King's Tomb right now. Not much else.
Yeah, that's a good point. We still don't see a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, we don't have a flute to get checkerboard, but which
Azder's already checked anyway.
Flute would let us get checkerboard and lower Norfair in logic.
Yep. Okay, with the charge beam, he doesn't care about those supers. And gets a heart piece.
We're a mere 3 checks away from Pyramid Ledge, if I'm counting things right, or 4 because of King's Tomb.
We are getting
very,
close.
very close. So if y'all want to see some Pyramid Ledge,
okay, here's the other fun thing. So Azder could literally, if it is Pyramid Ledge, I think Azder's going to maybe even finish even up to Mother Brain Super Metroid. Now, maybe not, because Torian, the reason why you do Torian second typically is you hope to get more items to make it better. We have not seen High Jump Boots, we have not seen Ice Beam, and those 2 items would make Torian better. But he might just say, screw it, I'm going to do Retro Brain, I'm going to just full clear everything and just finish with this game and then just pretend it's just Link to the Past at this point.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. What was it? The climb supers again? It was the green rupee, that's right.
Oh, we have Waterway.
I was trying to remember what important item was over there. Yeah, oh, five checks. We do have Waterway.
So, yeah,
Azder doesn't want that E-Tank that he was 1 pixel away from. That would have let him do stand-up glitch, just for the record.
Yeah, Azder's not a big... I wouldn't say he's a... Oh, there's that Moon Pearl. Okay.
Well, there we go. Rip.
No Aga.
Rip Aghanim.
A lot of people will say Aga's dead then. I like to say Aga's actually quite alive. Wait, did he... Oh, of course, he would have done the ocean the first time he came in here. So let's see if he decides to do Retro Bryn into Waterway before going back into Link to the Past.
Yeah, Retro into Waterway into Torian isn't that great here, but it's also not that bad.
No.
You give up Baby Skip.
Yep.
But otherwise, you're not giving up that much by doing it.
He's going to head down here regardless.
Power Bomb Metroids, so you are losing probably like 40-ish seconds.
Okay, so he's not going to do Retro Burn yet. So it's going to be a while before he gets that bow. So that's the one advantage Cheezinator really has right now, is he already has the bow. He doesn't have to worry about that. Azder's going to start doing Dark World cleanup. He's not going to find the bow. At some point, he's going to have to think about going back there, and we'll be interested to see how long it takes. The suggestion in chat that Azder will last location it, I tend to disagree at the moment. I don't think he does Ice Palace, for instance, before Retro Bryn.
Yeah, ice is a lot less bad now with Kana Samaria.
Yes.
They're just go in and grab all the stuff out of, but it's still not something particularly exciting.
No. Oh, and there's a space jump.
Hey, there's that.
Wow, space jump. Wow.
So that's lower Norfair.
Yep.
So now that everything's back in logic now, we're all stitched back together.
And the other thing is, we don't have flippers, and we may not get flippers because ice and swamp are both pendants.
Where is he going?
He
Oh, he wants a red potion to bow break pod. That's clever.
Okay.
I like it. I feel like every time I decide to try and buy a potion on my way to pod, I go into the wrong door. And it ends badly for me. And I end up like in a fairy fountain or something that like super stupid. But yeah, I like the play of getting ready to bow break pod.
Cheezinator in the meantime is gonna go ahead. He did finish up Dragon. He was able to use the microwave beam, so let's see where he goes next.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Cheezinator make that wrecked ship play. It's the last productive area that he has available, and it's also, you know, not just a boss, but it's a good number of items. As you're going to get his silvers, not the bow-associated item that he wants.
Yep.
But it'll be good for him when he finally does find that bow. So, coming out of the mirror, you get invulnerability frames, and Kiki won't touch people who are invulnerable. It's a very weird thing about Kiki. He will only cling to you if you are vulnerable to clinging. And so Azder using some sword buffers to wait out the iframes. And we're not bow locked yet, so Azder's going to be paying pretty close attention to where the small keys show up in this, just to learn what the logic is with respect to the bow, but he's not going to obey it because it just doesn't make sense. It's a crystal dungeon, and you know there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, when he does get the bow, he'll come back here and be able to very quickly knock out pod. Probably he might even full clear Eastern up to the bow, up to the Armos Knights specifically. When eventually he'll be able to just come back here and knock out both dungeons really, really easily. Okay, there it is.
An interesting strat there for that room.
Yeah, the way that works essentially is when you're going left, you want to be going right to left and drink that potion in the middle, and it somehow unlocks the camera. You need to make sure you drink that potion while let me get this right, the screen is moving instead of Link moving, and then you need to make sure you enter that hole without going too far, because once you get to the point where now the screen is still and Link is moving, you lose that camera unlock. And then once you go in there, you want to make sure you get all the mimics off screen at the same time, and then the game thinks they're dead and opens the door.
Yeah, which is nice. So we did get 2 small keys on the bow locked side of pod, which means that the back can end up bow locked pretty easily. And Cheezinator getting his sword at Plasma. For him, it's the Master's Sword. And the vanilla big key location can be an item. And so I think we're going to see Azder check that right now. Yep. He got 4 small keys and a big key so far.
And Chee's going to have to bomb jump his way out of this. So it'll be a little bit slower. Actually, be a lot slower. But doing a really nice job with those IBJs.
He does have speed booster, so that's also accessible to him. But if he would rather do this than the short charge,
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Easily available.
Yeah, I want to say we once figured out that it's just a regular 2-tap to get out there, maybe a 3, but you don't need to stutter or anything tricky like that to do that Shine Spark.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It can be fairly tight, and it can be annoying if the pirate's alive on the bottom. But once you get the bottom pirate dead, then it's not so bad. And so we see azder has run himself out of keys, so this is all bow locked right now.
Yep.
He's going to complete it anyway, but he got below 2 keys, which is what he got on the bow locked part of pods. So
okay, so Harmless Hallway is going to be a key. So the items are left in Dark Cross and potentially at Helmasaur.
what about Dark Cross?
Did I say Dark Cross? Dark Maze.
Okay, yes. I was like,
that was a definite mistake.
We have the pod maze and we have the big chest.
Yeah, we see a map and a compass.
Yeah, nice. So, Helmasaur King is going to be holding on to something.
Which we won't find out about for a while. And E-Tank, well, now he can do stand-ups.
Yeah, I was going to say, now you have your 7th E-Tank azder. Didn't dodge that one. He skipped Harmless Hellway because he knew it had to be a small key.
Yeah. Harmless, basically, at that point, there were 3 more locked doors. Dark Maze never has a key. And you need 1 key for that, 1 key for Harmless Hellway, and 1 key for Helmasaur himself. But the only way that works is if there's a key in Harmless Hellway at that point.
So here's a new check for us. We're going to see some Dark Death Mountain, get our intel about our Turtle Rock medallion, find out if we need that ether. I think with no Canis Samaria and neither Rod, we probably won't be seeing a Turtle Rock dive.
Nope.
But we'll see. Maybe we find some goods here on Dark Death Mountain.
I mean, azder has recently learned the basics of hovering. That's not a hover he's going to do. Like, that's not even a hover Andy would do. I mean, at least not the part where you have to actually light the torches. I've seen clips of people doing it. Yeah, it's pretty insane. He doesn't even have the fire rod to do it anyway, so... But this is a pretty dense location, so checking the this area and also getting the intel on a Turtle Rock is, I think, really important at this point.
Yeah, this is a down logic play. I like the play philosophically. I think it's sound, and there's our high jump boots.
Oh, there you go. Already something that'll make Tyrion better.
Yeah, that's one of those items that azder would have wanted to find to make Torian faster than it would have otherwise been, and rip ether.
Okay, so now looking at what we have at this point, I mean, azder's now to the point where he needs to get to that bow, and we know where that is. He needs Ice Rod and Fire. Where was Ice Rod that azder doesn't have it? Was that Spiral Cave? Ooh. azder never went to Spiral Cave.
Yeah, Ice Rod is, I believe...
Oh, it's an Eastern. Okay, chat telling us it's an Eastern. So he'll get that.
I think azder did Spiral Cave, though. But Spike Cave is a new check for us.
Yes, for sure. And shoutouts to putting the fast heart beep on. Okay, Cheese making his way over to the wreck ship.
And using a gravity jump for entry here.
Yep, that is a way to do
it. But, we needed a down grab there. He had the right jump height, just needed to do the down grab.
So we're starting to run out of locations already. You look at the dungeon. So azder's going to need the bow for Eastern Pod. He needs a Fire Rod to finish Skull Woods. Misery Mire, if he wants to go in there, he needs to go through Lower Norfair again, or get a flute. In Turtle Rock, we need lots of things. So he may get back to that Blue Bryn area sooner than we think. Now, he might do Thieves Town before going over to that Retro Bryn area, But unless flippers show up, I can't see him doing Ice Palace. That would be a fake flipper, an out of logic fake flipper into a pendant dungeon. That just makes no sense.
Yeah, that's not high on anyone's list of plays unless they're really, really trying to like get one over on their opponent, which is not azder's role in this matchup at all. If he does that play, it would be an absolute lunatic play. So I think we'll probably see the Skullwoods into Thievestown play. And we'll see what else shows up behind the mitts over in the village area. But nice stuck mummy. Best RNG for mummy statue room. There's nothing you can do to manipulate stuck mummy, but he's always great when you get him.
Yeah, and that room, the mummy statue room, it is one of those rooms that is hotly debated. Well, not hotly, but definitely is a candidate for the Link to the Past version of worst room in the game.
It's definitely not great. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't think it's the worst room in the game. But I could see how someone could.
Yeah, Cheezinator doing a nice job microwaving Phantom. Oh, look, there's a fire rod. Wow.
That is a really poop location for the fire rod.
Well, I guess we're going to finish Skullwoods now.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see a pet check while he's there.
I would be surprised to not see the pedestal check. Again, I mean, it's basically as good as completing Thieves Town, for instance, because he has the mirror. Like it. Oh, he's gonna need
magic.
A little bit of magic.
Okay, fortunately, there's a nice place you can get magic in the mummy behind the mummy statue room, which means he's got to do that again, which is kind of sucks, but you know, whatever.
Well,
or you just get a small decanter. That'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Although he's gonna still need some more magic to actually get through the next room, the room with the torches.
Nah, he'll be okay. He'll just have to use lamp.
Yep. He'll use lamp on 3 of them. There's a couple of pots there you can get it from as well.
So this is pretty aggressive for green mail here, but he is ready with the powder for the anti-fairy, or the bunny beam here in this next room.
Yep.
To get him back in good shape. Those Gibdos, they hurt a great deal.
They really do.
Glad he was able to close that out. That room can get a little hectic. And very nice Moth. Got the double hit off the dash into good RNG, double slash. That's basically a textbook Moth with good RNG, so very nice Mothula fight. Won't see that many that are better than that.
Okay, Cheezinator, meanwhile, making his way through Wreck Ship, decides to reset that energy tank. So let's see if I assume he's going to keep going, because he's pretty much cleared most of Super Metroid as well.
Yep, and here comes your pedestal check.
I don't expect this to be anything. Again, mainly because the flippers. If the flippers were already around, then I would think differently. Yeah, pocket change.
Yeah,
no surprise.
It was so unlikely to be anything, but at the exact same time, it's really good to confirm that before you have to make a choice about whether you want to kill blind, for instance. Yep. And the next logical place, or next reasonable place, I shouldn't use logic in that way. Yeah. The next reasonable place for azder to head would, in fact, be Thieves Town, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see him make that play here. So just having the intel on what's going on with pedestal before you get down there can be really nice.
Yeah, Thievestown not being the green pendant. So if you find all 4 items before you get to blind, you're just going to mirror out, not going to bother with the rest of it. And a blue cane.
Not the cane you wanted.
Not the cane we wanted. Nope.
And there's the Titan's mitt for Cheezinator. I'd kind of forgotten that glove was there, but there it was.
Yeah, I feel like you were supposed to get that one first. But I don't know. I mean,
I think they opened in Logic, actually, not at the same time. The glove in Meridia is in an earlier sphere than that glove, because it's in the same sphere as all the ways to logically access wrecked ship. So that was the glove you're supposed to get second.
Okay, as you're doing all the Village of Outcasts checks first. I think that's his first check of the map. Although perhaps not. I mean, Azure doesn't use a tracker, so every once in a while you'll see him recheck the map just to make sure he remembers what he's doing.
Yeah, I feel like my best out against Azure is that he doesn't use a tracker.
Yeah,
and so like, I feel like every time I beat him in a race, it's like he did something egregiously stupid, whereas I have a tracker that just tries to keep me from doing as many stupid things.
Yeah, he and I have had long conversations about that tracker, and I know I for one, as someone that does track, it's almost worse in some ways because there are times when I'll click the wrong button or I'll mark something wrong or I'll forget to track something, and 2 hours later realize I have an item I didn't think I had. It's bad. Or I didn't check a spot that I thought I did. Okay, was that 1 item? 2 items? Yeah, I think he's going to continue on. He got a 300 and a map and a big key. I didn't see what the other item was.
Yeah, he's thin enough on good checks to do.
Yep.
There's no compelling thing for him to do that's likely to put him in go mode. He's go -3 as he sees it, or he is go -3. That stuff could show up pretty much anywhere. So it makes a lot of sense to just be thorough at this point. He got the dash stopped right, got good RNG, nice God Pixel. Good strat there in the crystal switch room as well. I like that.
Okay, Cheese getting this E-Tank, gonna get his Moon Pearl suit, so it'll be interesting to see where Cheezinator goes next. Maybe, I kind of foresee a similar routing, only he'll be able to finish Pod, for instance.
Yeah, I expect as completable crystals, Pod Eastern to be, or really just Pod, to be pretty high on the list, because there's a good chance of that having some sort of useful item. I mean, Helmasaur could still be useful.
Yep.
And then after that, I expect a route very similar. I think we'll be seeing him follow Azure around here a little bit for a while. Yeah, we'll see. If we don't get a small key here at Maiden Chest, we won't have to reload the super tile, and it'll feel good. Hey, we're not going to reload the super tile, we're just going to get the last item from blind. So this block here is not going to respawn, which is just lovely.
Okay, Cheezinator heading back into Super Metroid. Or back into Link to the Past, I should say, and now back into Super Metroid. Maybe uncheck Waterway?
Yeah, the only reasonable thing is Waterway, because he already scouted the Climb Supers location.
Yes. So the only locations that we haven't seen in total, I believe, are Waterway and X-Ray.
I believe that is correct.
Oh, and there's a Cane of Samaria.
Okay, so that's a nice find. And so that is, unfortunately, going to mean that Meyer is now completable. It's a little bit of a route.
Well, God, here's the interesting part. Got it. So the only way Azure has to get to Meyer right now is through Super Metroid. So maybe this draws him into the blueprint area? Maybe? After he does some of these quick checks here?
You're not going to Meyer via the ship. You're going via the Death Mountain portal.
That's probably true.
So, like, how the heck are you getting back to Blue Bryn off
I
of
don't know. I don't know.
There's no way.
It gets him back into Super Metroid. That's all I was thinking
It
about.
does put him back with Sam as his avatar.
We're going to see a Smith chain check. This is rather unfortunate because if he had Bow, he'd basically be in go mode, because if he had Bow, he would have already cleared Pot Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could be in 2-hour go mode, but instead we're in 2-hour. We know where all the stuff is, but runners don't, sort of situation, and we'll see when they find their way to the important things.
And this is a really good break for Cheezinator, because he might be able to catch up with this, because if he goes to Thieves Town and gets that cane, goes to Skullwoods, gets that Fire Rod, that's going to put him in go mode.
He is, behind in terms of crystals completed, but I think that it's a very reasonable route for him to find his way to the end game, finish ride, and then going over and starting in on the Skullwoods and Village of Outcast thing. The Fire Rod and the cane are both kind of in bad, but very reasonable to approach.
Yep.
Once the good things dry up locations. And so we probably won't see him ever do, for instance, this Smith's chain.
Right.
The good thing for azder is there's not all that much stuff for him to do that's bad. Like, he's got the Smith's chain and these mitts checks, and then it kind of dries up.
Yeah. The question
there's
is,
not a whole lot to find.
Will it dry up fast enough, or will at what point does it dry up for where Cheezinator is within the seed, I guess is the question.
I see in chat from DWeb, double dip TR is going to be bad, and that's pretty true. If we end up double dipping Turtle Rock, then that's going to be...
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble.
That's one of the ones that can put Cheezinator back in this. That is a chunky time loss.
As you're going to drag this purple chest, going to do the K45 check.
And I see people thinking that azder forgot Blue Bryn. I really...
No, I guarantee you, no. He has not forgotten Blue Bryn.
It's just a crappy pendant map region that, you get no benefit from doing, so why sequence it early?
Yep.
We see Cheezinator prioritizing this check to get that knowledge about Turtle Rock, and I like that play the same way that I liked it when azder made it. And azder is
getting a flute, so that'll save him time going to Mire. He won't have to go Mire from lower Norfair.
Yeah, the flute's a nice find there that will save time to the Mire area. He is going to mirror high up here after abandoning the chest, and so he should be able to get his
bottle, his vanilla bottle. And this will probably be a Bombos check.
And these bottles have been hilarious this season.
I know.
Big fan of all the bottles we've found so far.
Those bottle locations are great. And an ether.
Hey, there's that ether medallion. It's just on the wrong tablet. Shucks.
Okay, save and quit. Is this going to be a flute activation? Probably. Yeah, flute activation. So I think he does Mire, which unfortunately is going to be a full clear. Yeah. And then he'll have to make a decision. Because let's see, what other one-off checks does he have left at this point? I want to say Catfish, King's Tomb, and Graveyard Ledge. I gotta believe he does Blue Bryn before those.
It's really easy to just knock things out once you're in that game, though.
Yeah, I know.
So, there is some time loss associated with transitioning between games too many times. Cheezinator is going to make that Hera basement play. We know it's not anything, but I think it's a good check.
Yeah, especially if he goes over to that ether tablet right afterwards, it'll get his boots. Yeah, okay, this is the Mire play, which is, I think, the right choice.
Yeah, this is... Absolutely the right play from azder. We know that he's not going to find anything particularly exciting, but that flute really does help make it easier to route this back in.
Yep. Now, if you're Cheezinator, let's suppose that he gets all the stuff in the same order that azder does. Do you continue? Do you even get that flute? Maybe not, because
No.
Because you're gonna just say, "Well, I've got go mode. I'll just have to do this the long way." Who knows where that flute is?
Cheezinator probably not finding the flute. I mean, he could route from like Link's house up and find it, but I mean, that's a reasonable route to take. I doubt he takes that, but could end up doing it. Oh man, chat is getting rude. Watch flippers be in mire. We don't want that. We want nothing to do with flippers.
we don't want to ever see flippers in this seed.
Yeah, flippers would be.
And I still don't see him chasing flippers before chasing the Brinstar area. I know I wouldn't. But that's me. I mean, those blue Brinstar checks for azder will take less time than even with Icebreaker on in Ice Palace. I think he does the blue Brinstar checks much faster.
Yeah, at some level, it's just how prevalent a swath of checks are on a runner's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
So the thing is, if you find flippers, it's pretty objectively right to chase the thing that showed up behind Cane of Samaria.
Yep.
For instance, like if Vitreous has flips, like it makes a lot of sense to chase the flippers at that point. We obviously don't want to see that, but I mean that's I think chasing flippers there makes a ton of sense, and I would like to see that. As a player who is interested in just seeing the statistically right play, I'd like to see it, not in the sense that I want the race to go that way.
Mm-hmm. She's getting his hype cave, which was a pretty good hype cave. Although the space jump has less use now than it would have if we had already basically full cleared Super Metroid. Okay, there's that big key. We still have an item or two left here. That fairy was trying not to get caught.
Yeah, so last item will be on Vitreous, so this is going to be behind the red cane. So if this is a progression item that leads to anything, I'm tempted to chase it if I'm playing this seed from azder's standpoint. I don't know if azder prioritizes playing down logic as highly as I do. There's a bunch of different philosophies you can take. Looks like he's tossing a block into the pit here, setting up his altitude variables to go for a spooky action mire. So we'll get to see him show that off here. You could also throw the block into Oblivion in this room. But the important thing is setting your altitude by throwing the block into sort of into the bottom of one of those pits. And there he hit the crystal switch that was through the wall because Fire Rod's weird. Or Ancilla are weird.
Yep. Yeah, as you're well versed in that strategy, it's used in the All Dungeons run that a tournament that he was in recently. Tournament's not quite over, but he's done with it.
That's a politically kind way of describing his situation with that tournament, Princey. I like what you did there.
To be fair, he did quite well in it, but it's you want to talk about really good, but when you talk about your best Link to the Past players, there's some really good ones in that tournament. And there's another bottle. Okay.
Oh, that's great. It means it's not going to lead him on a wild goose chase. But man, we are 4 for 4 on excellent bottles.
Okay, you gonna go back to Sick Kid? Maybe he has something this time. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, save and quit. Is he gonna go to... I think this is the reset to Super Metroid.
Yeah, this is looking like that blue Bryn. So this should be...
If this is Blue Burn into Torian, that's, I think, a really good play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's going to Blue Burn. There was the slight possibility he just does Torian first. But no, he's going to do Blue Burn. And then I think... And with this loadout, I think, I mean, Ice Beam would be really nice to find, but I don't know that, I mean, if he's not going to be far away from it, I think it makes sense to just knock out Torian right now.
Oh, nice little speedball there. I kind of like that. Helped him save a little bit of time. Sometimes I'll screw that up and run out of Shine Spark timer on the way back over.
Yeah, I'm really...
nice move.
Yeah, I can do not the speedball, but I can do the play where you deboost through the enemies there. I'm just bad at it, so usually I end up just power bombing them if I don't have Ice Beam.
Yeah, deboosting off those Boyons is a real pain in the butt.
It really is.
I'm not a fan of that, but it's doable, but I'm just as likely to mess it up.
So yeah, he won't pick up the E-Tank, picked up the Groove. Yeah, I mean, you know very well, Hitaka, that when you do that Shine Spark, you're just going to be picking up the item. Meanwhile, Cheezinator making his way through Pod. I don't recall there being anything of great use here.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that we want to see at this point is like mail upgrade.
Yeah,
maybe?
mail upgrade be nice. I mean, they don't need it, but I'm sure they wouldn't turn it down if that's what they found.
Yeah, Ice Beam.
Okay, so the question to chat about rage. Azure won't feel any rage for Bo. I mean, he's pathed this very well. This was not a long search. This is he was go mode -1 for what, 10, 20 minutes. I mean, it just really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up with a slightly extraneous Smith sequence.
Yeah.
That got him flute. Like, you don't feel bad about this.
No,
you're
not at all.
basically right where you want to be in the seed.
I mean, finishing up Pod Eastern will be very quick. Of course, he doesn't know that he's going to find that Ice Rod, but he's going to go do Pod Eastern right away. There's no reason to do anything else at this point once you get that bow, other than, finishing Torian, should he decide to do so.
All right, we'll find out what's on Helmasaur King here pretty soon, though, so that'll be nice.
And there it is.
He's gonna want
nope, I want that.
Yeah. Speedball not quite low enough to grab that, but does get his bow.
And he's going to keep on going.
So he might be salty about the fact that it was bow and not Ice Rod that he found first, but we know the bow's going to lead him to his Ice Rod.
Yep. So now the only check we have not seen, the only check he hasn't done in Super Metroid, and actually I believe the only check Cheezinator hasn't done in Super Metroid is that X-ray check. I suppose he could. I suppose Azure could knock that out quickly. He's got space jump. It is kind of out of the way, so I'm not sure I see him doing that. But
yeah,
it wouldn't hurt him to do it if he does choose to do it.
Yeah, I don't think you want to isolate, and it's pretty easy to... The problem is X-ray is pretty far from a portal. Yeah. But I definitely can get behind doing the X-ray check here just to have it crossed off the list.
Yep. See which way he decides to go. Okay, this looks like a play to Torian.
It looks like we're headed to Torian, and if then post bow, we don't have the Ice Rod. like once we chase the bow through Pod and Eastern, or really just Helmasaur King and Eastern for azder, then we can explore the idea of maybe coming back for X-Ray. But X-Ray's just in such a bad spot that is part of why it ends up being orphaned a lot of the time.
Yeah. So yeah, and now that Azure has the bow, there is no way he doesn't go straight to Pod Eastern right after he finishes Turian.
Yeah, one of those turtles helping Cheezinator out to get rid of those nasty sword beams. Sword beams were being a real pain for him there. But luckily one of the turtles came by and gave him a little hug to take one of those hearts away so he won't get bothered by those sword beams for his Helmasaur King fight.
Okay, let's watch Cheezinator for a second as he fights Helmasaur King. We'll get to see what's over here.
Yep, we're going to see Azure go through Torian. He is going to have to use power bombs on the Metroids, but he knows what he's doing, so the Metroids are going to aggro here because there was a wrinkle on the screen when he laid that first power bomb, or when the power bomb went off. I forget which it is. I'm actually pretty bad at this strat. But it's going to bring all the power bombs, or all the Metroids to the power bomb.
Ooh, just a shield. I guess we're not dodging all the shields today. And we'll have to see where Cheese decides to go next. I still think his best bet is to basically do the same route out of here that Azure did. I mean, he could choose to check things. I don't think we saw Catfish or Graveyard Ledge. He could choose to do those on the way over there.
Yeah, they're reasonable checks for sure. They're pretty straightforward to route in.
Yep.
It provides you a pretty coherent path toward the end game, even if not maximizing items per time. Without the flute, fragmented routing can be a little bit less attractive for A Link to the Past, so I do like this decision.
Yeah, from its standpoint, I mean, Cheezinator, I really like the way both these runners have played this seed. I like that Cheezinator took some of those risks that, maybe he doesn't do the early lower Norfair play if he's playing someone that he doesn't, that he thinks he has more of an advantage of. He knows that Azure might do that sort of thing and decides to do it instead, and did a very nice job of it. It's just unfortunate for him that, Azure's movement is just better, especially in Super Metroid, but really in both games. But Cheezinator's putting up a really nice show. And you know what? If, that bow location, if Azure doesn't get back to it sooner, that could have been a huge difference.
Yeah, and that was sort of the texture of this matchup, was Cheezinator really either needed to get very lucky or needed Azure to goof in some big way.
Yep.
That's just the way this matchup goes. Azure, pretty heavy favorite, and the matchup played out kind of as we would have expected, which isn't, the fault of either player.
So Azure didn't get the speed booster Zeb skip and decides to just use ammo. He's got plenty of it, so there's no reason not to. And with Charge Beam, it's still only a 24-shot fight. He's got Charge Wave Plasma here. I bet we find Ice Beam in GT somewhere.
That wouldn't surprise me, given that that's the spot in any game that has the most items left. And Ice Beam could very easily be there because Speed Booster was accessible.
Okay, I didn't see the Catfish item.
Wasn't good. It was 50 rupees, I think.
Oh, 50 rupees? Okay. Yeah, our tracker Zeruvian doing a great job behind the scenes, clicking those buttons with the knowledge.
Yep.
Doing that hard work. Yeah, absolutely. I will never not praise the trackers. I do, I do Links to Pass, I do Super Metroid, I do the combo, and I've tracked Super Metroid. Which of the three is by far the easiest? And I'm bad. So I'm very appreciative of our trackers for doing that.
I screw up tracking my own game, let alone tracking 2 other people's games.
Yeah, that too.
But azder has made it cleanly through Mother Brain 2.
Yeah. Chooses not to do stand-up. Azder's...
to get a pretty decent time on this seed. We're looking at like 223 by the time he's out of Super Metroid. Eastern Pod just the rush to Helmasaur King. We're looking at like a mid 2-4x, low 2-5x probably from azder. Low 2-4x possible, which is a very solid time on any seed, really.
But yeah, like I said, azder choosing not to do stand-up, it's not one of he'll do it, but it's not one of those things that he will go out of his way to do. So not really a surprise that he chooses not to do it. I didn't see if he took the extra bit of damage that made it not possible, but he's got reserves, so he could have probably popped those if he really wanted to.
Cheezinator awakened the skull up before going for the bonk rocks. I don't know if he didn't know that one was going to wake up on him, or if it was a meme.
Those skull rocks, I swear, I should know by now where they all are, because I swear I've run into every single one of them, and I still keep running into them.
There's a couple that got me pretty good.
I think we're getting the lumberjack check. I don't think she's ever checked this.
It's a good check to knock out now.
Yeah, a lot of runners will check it with these other boots checks, with the idea that they can't get the item anyway until they have boots.
Yeah, I mean, you need boots, lamp, and AGA access.
Yeah.
before you can even like entertain the idea of getting that item. And you aren't even guaranteed to find boots in a seed, and it's not the fastest check, so like I totally get skipping it for a while and then just come back, because think about it, it's faster to check it once you have boots.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't get it until you have the boots anyway, so why bother?
Yeah. Okay, also checking the bumper ledge for those missiles as you're in the escape. You'll notice there were a few differences, like there's no timer, so it's a little bit faster in that sense. He's going to have to get this Shine Spark on the first try, which shouldn't be a problem, because for whatever reason, because the game is not technically over, this will be lava and not acid, and once you miss it this time, you can't do a Shine Spark because you can't Shine Spark through lava, but he gets it with no trouble. Why the game lets you do Shine Sparks out of acid but not lava, I don't know. And as you're finishing up Super Metroid, let's see if he probably flute to 5, Eastern Pod.
Lava's just a lot more viscous. Like, acid's mostly water. Lava is like straight up molten rock. I could not charge a Shine Spark in molten rock. So I understand why it doesn't let you charge a Shine Spark.
Okay. I'm sorry, I forgot my physics for a second. Says the person with the physics degree.
I dabbled in physics degree too at some point in my life. I'd have to go dig around in a box to find the damn thing, but it's somewhere.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Well, let's see what Cheezinator does here. We've got the ped the ped check out of the way, and we're gonna get that fire rod soon, I hope.
Yeah,
he's on the path to the fire rod.
Yeah, I can only imagine he did the ped check first, because he doesn't think he's gonna get the fire rod here, because who would expect the fire rod to be in its vanilla dungeon, you know?
That is not what you want to do with that that statue there, Cheezinator. You're going to need to think again about that one, bud.
You know, as you're flying through Pod. Cheezinator just getting that small key.
It feels so bad having to push that statue back out. It really does.
Well, he has the mirror. He could just mirror it out.
Yeah, he
I
would have
sometimes
gone to
forget
the
that
other
too, though.
side because he'd
Oh,
come in
right,
from the
yeah.
back side.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
we'd
a
have
really
to
good
run
point.
back through all those rooms. Like it
Oh,
probably was
yeah.
faster.
No, you're probably right. Probably better just walk out. But yeah, I like the way he routed this though. By getting that small key in the other area, he can just full clear this whole thing and not have to worry about falling through holes to do it. Now in SMZ3, we still have the pinball room is still automatically a key. So he only has falling through the holes is not quite as bad in SMZ3 because you still have that guaranteed key to get out. Unlike Link to the Past, the newest version does not guarantee that being a key.
Yep, and he has both items now, so doesn't need to check the big chest. Is just going to go straight for the back, but get distracted by that fairy who isn't sure it wants to get grabbed. There he goes.
Those fairies have really been trying to stay away from our runners.
Yeah, go mode -1 for Cheezinator.
Yeah, the question
go mode
is...
-1 for azder as well, but both runners are sort of on an arguable collision course for their go mode, and azder definitely has the upper hand because it's in a crystal dungeon.
Yeah, for sure azder's going to run into the ice rod. Cheezinator might or not do all of Thieves Town, but I think it was only a 2-item front, so that just gives you a little more incentive to go to the back there.
Yeah, at this point in the search, I think it makes a lot of sense to just go and do Thieves Town.
Yeah,
of course, we know that's what needs to be done. But I could also see prioritizing other checks.
Yeah, I could too. But I think it's I mean, even when azder was doing it and was making the decision, I really thought it was the right play. And this from someone that hates pendant thieves. Like, I try to avoid it, but it never works. So, so maybe I shouldn't try to avoid it that much. So now azder's going to have to be more thorough in Eastern because, of course, he has not even dipped this dungeon yet.
Yep, but he's only a couple checks away from that ice rod, so I think that he ends up with only one item by that point, so he knows it has to be an item. I don't think he has 2 items to maybe like opt to gamble Armos Knights, but I don't think anyone's making that play anyway.
Not a go -1. And there were a couple of matches in the Link to the Past tournament last fall, winter, where runners rather infamously skipped the big key chest, much to their detriment because it was a key item.
Of course it was a key item. It was the big key chest.
Uh-oh.
What else? Uh-oh. azder!
No!
Buddy!
What are you doing? Oh, God,
Holy
this match just changed!
What are we doing?
Oh, no!
Don't do it. He'll come back in for the item.
Let's hope so.
I have faith.
I am really surprised to see him make this decision.
I mean, it's a 50-50. It's a crystal. It's not that big of a time loss if you're wrong with boots. Like, I guess I can defend it. It's not a play I would make.
No, it's not a play I would make either.
It's also a play to be cautious that guarantees that you finish slower. So if you're really trying to swing for the fences and get the fastest possible time on a seed, that could do.
Oh, very nice, Armos. Gets his map. We'll see if he walks back in.
Yeah, meanwhile is headed right for his Cane of Samaria so far, right for Thieves Town.
I mean, what else does azder have at this point? Really, he's got Turtle Rock without Ice Rod and some of those North Dark World checks. Oh, no, azder. No, don't do it!
azder, why are you doing this to us?
Wow, okay. This siege just turned. This race just turned on its head.
Well, that was a really nice hook stair climb there from azder, if we want to talk about good execution.
It was.
And going for the Waffle House drive-through.
Okay.
Getting a little hecked up by the dead rocks.
Okay,
yeah,
so...
It might be a while until we see this ice rod. This
is bad. So here's the one good thing. Another one of those conversations Azder and I have about mirror portals. So he's going to get all the way down to Laser Bridge. He's not going to find that ice rod. His choices at that point are basically the big key chest in Eastern, Catfish, Graveyard Ledge, Pyramid Fairy. I think might be a thing. No, it's not, because that's TR, so that's not a thing. Pyramid Ledge is a thing. But what I'm getting at is, if he wants to keep that mirror portal, going back into Eastern is the thing that'll let him keep that mirror portal.
Yeah, I think this might come down to our flippers in Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's a nasty, nasty thought.
I mean, I think that's just really swingy. If flippers show up here, I don't know not chasing flips just because the item density is there. Because you've got all of Swamp.
Wow, I am shocked at this turn of events. Like, there's no upside to him skipping that chest. I'm sure he feels behind, but that's because he always feels behind. It's just not that long a check compared to, going all the way through Turtle Rock. So now I don't know who's winning this.
Yeah, this one, if we'll see if Cheezinator continues the play. If Cheezinator continues the play, completes the dungeon, which it looks like he's doing.
Yeah, he's gonna complete
and
this.
And azder finds and chases flippers, Cheezinator's in the lead. If azder does not find flippers here, and other things to occupy him, or Cheezinator doesn't get the cane, which looks kind of foregone, then I think azder's still in the lead.
And also, we got to remember, azder's already done Turian, so that's another 10 minutes that Cheezinator's going to have to spend.
Yeah, azder has Turian done, has more crystals. I mean, there's a lot of time loss that azder can absorb at this point. But that Eastern check, it's a weird one to isolate to the extent that I worry that it may have been a mistake. And if it was a counting mistake, those are the sorts of things that take a long, long time to come out of sometimes. Because, like, it depends how cognizant you are of what you did at 2.5 hours into a race.
That's exactly right.
Cheezinator is cutting it close with the clearly
oh my God.
blind. Jesus.
Wow.
While we were watching for flippers on the left screen, Cheezinator was getting bodied by every flying projectile in the blind fight. And azder turning to Bunny, not unsurprisingly. Yeah, that is go mode for Cheezinator.
Yep. So he's got to go do Desert. He's got to go do Myra. He's going to have to do this the long way because he does not have Flute, and he's not going to get Flute. So that's also going to game azder some time.
Yeah, he is going to have to go back through the slow way. Definitely better to do this than to gamble on finding that Flute anytime
for
soon.
Sure. Like, he doesn't know that it's easily accessible. And there's no reason he should believe it's easily accessible. Could be in Ganna's Tower for all he knows.
Yeah, well, we'll at least get to see more of what items are here. And Cheezinator, let's see, the big key was at the compass chest in Mire, so he's not going to have a cutscene. He's going to have a pretty clean Mire. He's going to be in a pretty good situation. But yeah, if you're not Ninjembro, you probably don't want azder finding flippers. If you're Ninjembro, you want flips on Laser Bridge, and then for azder to hard chase. If Ninjembro in chat is representing his own feelings about this.
Yeah. And of course, this can also go back. We talked about this earlier. Azure doesn't use any sort of tracker.
Yeah, that's the worrisome thing.
So yeah, if he wasn't counting right in Eastern, maybe he goes back there to double check.
Nice second try gate glitch there from Cheezinator. That is frame perfect in that setup. Now, it's something where it's pretty quick to just try again, but it's still pretty random, so good to get that pretty quickly. I see in chat suggestion that Azure may fake Flipper IP, but
No,
I
no,
strongly doubt that you're going to gamble
no
the
way.
item progression sequence to Ice Rod rather than checking the things for the Ice Rod. That'd be
insane.
That would be a crazy play. But no Flipper.
Okay, one more item.
Okay,
no flippers.
No flippers. That's good.
Okay, he's going to do the mirror portal here.
Makes sense.
And by doing the mirror, if he was going to do Graveyard Ledge, for instance, you don't do a mirror portal, you're going to lose it anyway. I gotta believe this is going to be the play back to Eastern. Catfish is also a thing. You can die in the Dark World and keep your mirror portal. He's thinking about it.
He's thinking.
Oh, he's never done Ice Rod Cave.
Wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. The vanilla Ice Rod Cave. But I'm pretty certain the only other things he hasn't checked are Catfish and Graveyard Ledge and maybe King's Tomb.
Yeah, it's pretty thin. And then X-Ray.
Oh god.
But you can't save your portal through the game transition.
No, you can't.
So, aside being the smallest.
Foot to 5, foot to 5. No, not 3. The hell's over here?
That was very contemplative fluting, so I think that Eastern's not on his mind. But we'll see. Maybe he's just deciding how to sequence bad checks.
Yeah, this is the King's Tomb play.
And this is a good check. There's good potential for this to be his Ice Rod.
Okay, so got that flute out. Okay, flute 5.
4. Where's 4 go?
I don't know.
Where are we going, man? Where are we?
Get
to Swamp. I think we saw Bombo's tab.
We did see Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, because it was our Ether Medallion.
He could do, again, Catfish Graveyard Ledge. I guess that's where he's going. That's unfortunate, because now he's not going to be able to save that mirror portal. Oh, there's also the Pyramid Ledge here.
Yeah, mirror portal's dead.
Not if he dies in the Dark World.
Oh, fair, yeah, because he took a, yeah.
So cool. As long as he doesn't go Graveyard Ledge, he can still keep that mirror portal.
Yes.
So he might be doing these one-off checks first.
So Azure presently has a portal saved on the laser bridge to get back into Turtle Rock after finding the Ice Rod. Is the line he's pursuing to try and not have to redo all of Turtle Rock after this Ice Rod hunt.
Even redoing all of Turtle Rock, he kind of. I think if he can get back there before Cheese starts GT, because it's just not that long. Even if you're not.
Well, he has a Torian up on Cheezinator.
Exactly.
And so it's just a matter of how much time he burns here.
Okay, he's killing himself here.
Okay,
that is not a Graveyard Ledge check.
Yeah, so he has something in mind that's going to let him save his portal. I'm not sure what that something is other than Eastern.
Yep. Okay, let's see if we get the Flute 5 here.
Huh. Flute 8. Okay, well.
No,
Oh,
azder?
this is the
Oh,
fake slipper to
no.
ice. This is the lunacy play.
Okay, well, I think this may be GG.
I don't think so.
Don't. Oh, wait, where's
Oh.
he's going into the portal?
We're faking to Zora. We're going
Oh, he
to
hasn't done
Zora.
Zora yet.
Okay.
Okay, this is okay. Like,
this is a wild
my God.
ride right about now, by the way. If you're not having fun with this and you're not Polar Bear Bunny, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Polar Bear Bunny.
This is a fantastic race. This is a really confusing sweat. But if you're not following these runners, go give them a follow, show them some love. This has been an awesome race.
Get super missiles from Zora.
Yeah, that's nothing. Where does azder go next? Because I have to think that this is a miscounted Eastern. I have to think that he's like really racking his brain right now. Walking out of Zora's domain. Oof.
Okay.
So where do you think he's gonna go?
He's gonna go.
Oh, he's gonna splash delete into the cave. That's cute. I like it. I think the cane block needs to be lower so he can get enough sprites, but I'm not 100% sure on all the technicals of this.
Like, the thing I'm really surprised at in this whole situation is he didn't when he was in Eastern, he didn't do a check to make sure. Oh, 5.
He's thinking.
Okay.
He's like, did I? Maybe.
Okay, this is it.
Oh, yeah, this looks good. Did I miscount an Eastern?
And all he has to do is walk in there to find out, because he's going to walk in there, he's going to check his menu, and you'll see that he's got all 3 dungeon items. Meanwhile, Cheezinator are about to do Vidi. This will be a very quick fight with the silver arrows. Yeah, I apologize, Cheezinator, because you're running really well and doing all the right things, and here we are talking all about azder. But God,
Oh, but this has been supreme train wreck on left screen. This is like you can't not watch that.
No,
so,
you really can't.
This is crazy.
But azder's now finally on the right path, and he got there quick enough that he's still going to be in the lead. And he's even going to be able to keep his mirror portal.
Yeah, this will be good. Did he even pause and check his menus?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He's just going for the item. I mean, I feel like there may have been a moment where he forgot it for a bit, just because I don't see doing that splash deletion attempt unless you forgot. But
maybe I gave him the time he needed to think about it.
Yeah, sometimes you need that sort of thing. Like, you'll see runners sometimes, and this may have even been what he did. Actually, no, in this case, because he got the bow before doing Torian. But sometimes you'll see runners will do the early Torian just to get that time to think.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, okay, I don't know what I forgot, so I'm going to do the thing that I can just do. And there it is.
All right, and so azder is now in go mode as well, and he's got a portal, so he's roughly 10 minutes ahead right now.
Plus Turian. Yeah, so about 10 minutes of Turian. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
He's about, 2 to 3 up on Turtle Rock here.
And azder, if you watch this back later, you better have done something nice for a Polar Bear Bunny after this. Just saying. All right, Cheezinator about to enter the front of Turtle Rock. He'll be able to go through this a lot faster than what Azure did before. He'll probably be able to skip Laser Bridge. Azure just going to jump down into his portal.
Yep, saved his portal right back to Laser Bridge. Has his key already, and is ready to go here. So now Azure is back in the lead.
Yep.
By a Torian and most of a Turtle Rock.
That moment when he fake flippered, oh my god, I really thought he was heading into ice for a second. As insane as that play is,
yeah.
and it really is.
It's a complete, like, just disaster play.
Yep.
But if you really, like, if you feel that behind, I can understand where that play comes from.
Flippers almost have to be in GT. I mean, I guess we did never see X-Ray. They could be there, but not a whole lot of places left they could be. Oh, and look, a gold sword.
You know, all the swords, all the bottles. 2 mail upgrades still just kind of chilling out there. We'll see if we ever find a mail upgrade. But 12 heart green mail GT is not really that bad of a thing, so
nah,
I think we're still doing okay.
Azure in particular is very used to doing green mail GT with not only his NMG and his RMG runs that he does.
Yeah, or the new low percent that he is capable of doing.
Yeah, the 3 hearts green mail the entire game. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is not an uncomfortable loadout.
No, not at all.
Low percent is actually an uncomfortable loadout.
That is an absolutely insane run. Green mail, 3 hearts, Master Sword, Silverless again, and no thank you. I'll watch Azure do it. I won't do it myself.
I don't even want to watch that. I just it doesn't feel comfortable. Same reason I don't watch horror movies. Like, I don't want to watch Low Percent Link to the Past.
That's fair. Okay, so you'll see something different on Cheese's side. He's just going to steal this key from the Pokey.
Yeah. The key layout here, as long as you have the big key at this point, you're heavily favored to be able to steal this small key.
All right, as we see if Stealthos room. Super missile. Oh, there's a mail upgrade. Hey, and there's the flippers.
Yeah,
hey, we can now we can go to Ice Palace.
Yep, that was kind of the out. There they are. So if Cheezinator finds those flippers, that's going to be a tell for him of the situation, because I feel like he might be looking at it like, if Astra finds flippers,
yep,
this could be going
swimmingly. Yeah. If I'm Cheese, I'm hoping for that.
Absolutely.
Because there are enough places that Cheezinator did not end up checking, because when he got the cane for his go mode, that for him it's a reasonable possibility. Here we get some more power bombs. Hey. Next thing you know, we'll find Ice Beam next, I think.
And Cheezinator just needs to get the small key. I think that's the third chest?
Yeah, I want to say it's the 3rd chest.
No big key yet.
But a swag bugnet.
Hey. We take those. Oh, Cheezinator pushing the Samaria block around a little.
Having a little bit of trouble. There's a really nice setup where you can lay the block and just run, and it hits, at the right time to go through 2 switches, which is something I should actually go and learn, because it's not even that hard a strat. I just haven't taken the time to do it.
Yeah, if you run it suboptimally, it's pretty easy. Like, the setup is not tough. It's pretty generous.
And still looking for that big key.
Pretty clean ice Armos.
And it looks like we're going to have to go over to the right side.
Yeah. Which, there was a small key, so could have gone right side initially.
Yep, I know that's the route you tend to like. I think Azure tends to do the Hope Room into the left side in general. Not always. Probably, I don't know that anyone always does the same routing. It's one of those things that you don't want to be too predictable.
Yeah, there's a lot of defensible routes.
Yep.
Most of which have advantages or disadvantages depending on what layout you actually run into.
Exactly.
And so, as long as you end up doing something anywhere near reasonable, it's going to be just fine. Like, people make way too much out of Ganon's tower routing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't win or lose the
There
game based on Ganon's tower routing. You won or lost based on a bunch of bad decisions you made on the way there.
And look, a boomerang. It's not the blue boomerang, but it is a boomerang. So you have to get a boomerang.
Yep. Got that red boomerang. Couldn't leave them all.
Okay, Cheezinator entering his Ganon's tower. And for posterity, I believe that was check number 20.
I'm surprised you leave that full decanter there, but there he goes back and grabs it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
It was just muscle memory to leave it.
I mean, he would have had the option to go over into the Bonk Fairy Room, Josh's Fairies. Shout out to Josh RTA. But this is better.
Yeah, you don't need the fairies, you would just need the magic refill.
Right, yep.
Quote unquote need. Like, you could get by. I think there's enough small decanters that you can make it work.
Yeah. I mean, because you could use lamp in a lot of those places, but yeah, it's not would not be ideal. It looks like Cheezinator is doing the Dark Magician strat, so he'll get to the big key a little bit faster.
Yeah, we'll see what Cheezinator does here. Okay, looks like he is going to go straight for the right side.
Yeah, that Dark Magician strat is probably currently the most popular for Link to the Past only. I don't know that you see it as much in SMZ3. Basically going into the Stalfos room, mirroring out, and then going to the Hope room into the Compass room. And that's actually not even really the Dark Magician strat, because that technically would have you go full right at this point. Of course, she's not going to do that regardless, because he'll find the big key. As you're entering some of my favorite rooms, I love these Canis Samaria rooms. It's amazing. I never would have even thought of using a Canis Samaria in that room or in this other one until I saw someone do it, and I'm like, wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool strat for sure. It's definitely one of those ones that the first time you see it's really flashy.
Yep. And Cheese manages to avoid his boomerang.
But yeah, if you're Azder here with that protracted hunt for the Ice Rod after leaving Eastern, I feel like you you start to feel a little nervous at this point.
Oh, for sure.
So it's good to see that he's, keeping his execution together on this one.
Yep, and it looks like he almost forgot to grab that magic, and it's a good thing he didn't forget it. That's kind of the last place you have to refill it, and I don't think he bought... The only potion I recall him buying was that red potion to break pod, so... Okay, Aga heading into his... as you're heading into his Aga fight, I think I started to say that the wrong way.
Thought he was going to salvage a double out of that. Getting that first particle deflection was pretty good, but a little bit of a mess so far. But this setup looks nice. And Cheezinator just having a rough go here with the Gauntlet.
Now it's called a Gauntlet for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't recall where he picked up that half magic that he has.
It was, God, was it King's Tomb? Or Graveyard Ledge? It was up in that part of the map.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Graveyard
It could have been Graveyard Ledge.
Because Azder did King's Tomb.
Right. Never did Graveyard Ledge because of that mirror portal situation.
Mm-hmm. Half magic is a really nice, cozy safety.
It really is.
To have for this part of the game. It means that you can basically do whatever the heck you want in Ganon's tower and in the Ganon fight and not die. It's like the best safeties. You can like completely idiot route and idiot execute, and you just get away with it.
As you're doing a nice job with that hook shot to get iframes to dodge Ganon very nicely.
Yeah, because Azder already has Torian completed, we're going to get the extended credit sequence here. In time. So
I do wish if they
GGs.
total, if you're listening, and you're probably not, because it's like what, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning where you're at. But if you're gonna have the extended credits, they should have the dynamic credits like they do in the regular Link to the Past randomizer. All right, and GG's to Azder, finishing up with an official SRL time of 2:57:57.
Yeah, GG to Azder, who wins and will be moving on to face Ninjembro in the top 16. So, GG to Azder, and also GG to Cheezinator, who's taken a little break to chat in the SRL.
Yep.
But will be finishing, I believe.
Yeah, he's saying that he's going to go ahead and finish, and I think he should. I mean, he's close enough to done. He may as well go out on a high note finishing this seed. He's played it really, really well. He's done a really nice job and a really good tournament for him.
And Ninjembro says, "Rip me," but I don't know. This could happen again, right?
Yeah.
And so,
mistakes can get made.
Mistakes get made all the time, and sometimes flippers show up on Laser Bridge, so...
Yep.
You never know. That's why we play the matches, man.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Anyone can lose to anyone. Everyone in the top 16 earned their spot. Everyone in the top 32 earned their spot. But yeah, sounds like Azder is going to come in, and yep, here he is. GG, Azder.
Yeah, GG.
Oh my god, why is this game?
Why is this game indeed, dude? I, for one, had a blast. I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
what the heck?
the obvious question, the ice rod. So, did you consciously skip the big key chest, or was that a miscount? Okay.
Yeah, that was like I have I have done like every check very, very thoroughly, and when I go Bo, I'm just like, okay, that's great. I can at least cover this base, but I'm pretty sure at this point it's in Turtle Rock. I've checked like almost everything. Like the only thing that the Eastern Big Key chest was the first thing in the entire seed, in the entire game that I isolated. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I isolated X-ray.
Yes, also that.
So
we never did find out what was there, so don't worry about X-ray.
second, yeah, I had X-ray on my mind, but it was just like it's too far out of the way, and if it's there, then I lose my portal, and it's like it's like Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, so Graveyard Ledge, X-ray. I don't count Graveyard Ledge yet because I hadn't done like I hadn't done all of the stuff surrounding it in terms of like coming back from T-Rock and trying to save the portal.
Yeah, it was only isolated once you tried to save the portal with it because of the catfish and the King's Tomb check.
We got a little nervous when you started to fake Flipper. Because we were worried as insane as it would be, we were worried that you were going to head into Ice Palace, which would have been absolutely insane. I would have done. I was thinking of doing it before Easter, and I almost did it. But I was like, okay, I don't like. I was like, I might still be ahead by enough. Like, there's a chance. There exists a chance that I am ahead by like just enough that I can afford this dip back in there, and it's just my luck that it probably would be in there, and it's very possible that dipping ice would be the play that loses it for me.
Yeah, if flippers are on Laser Bridge, do you go to ice?
Yes. You kind of have to.
That's what I thought as well, but I was worried when you dipped from Eastern and went to Turtle Rock. I was like, okay, as long as it's not flippers, I think this lead holds up. But if it's flippers, all bets are off. Because at that point, Cheezinator, unless he decided to bail on Thieves Town, was on a crash course with his Cane of Samaria. But it was very interesting for sure.
Yeah, so ice was just very heavily on my mind because I was like, what if the item I need, like the progression item, is at Graveyard Ledge, or it's at X-Ray? I just lose if it's there. But if it's flippers, then I can just like hope that it's flippers and go get my Ice Rod and ice, and hope that it's not in Swamp.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and Cheese is gonna go ahead and finish this out, but we're gonna get him in here early, so that he can get into the interview right away rather than waiting, since he is. We won't spoil it whether he finishes or no. He's just gonna come in early, so we can get his thoughts on this as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Just trust us. He can beat this game from this point.
Yeah. I think it's a safe bet.
Had the experience.
Yeah. Hey, Cheese. GG's.
GG. Thanks for bringing me on, Azder. GG. That was a fun one. I almost closed it at one point.
Yeah, we'll just wait till you watch it back. But you were definitely in it for most of it. Really liked your routing in general. I thought you played it really well. Azder, just able to clear more quickly. It's just when you play someone of that level, it's just really tough.
My SM, I was just like fumbling around so much, like random falls and random getting stuck on blocks and things. It was kind of picturesque for a typical seed for me. Like decent decisions as far as where to go, even though I did last location the Moon Pearl, but then like just fumbling it, falling everywhere.
Yeah, well, you both last location the Moon Pearl, if it makes you feel any better. And Azder, in fact, did the upper wreck ship skip, which he gets a little bit too much. I think that people make too much of it, but it's definitely a play that he's made in the past.
Yeah, I would have wanted to make that play if I found Moon Pearl in the bottom. Of course, I didn't go there early. If I'd gone there early, I might have skipped the top. Mm-hmm. It's a fun gamble. Yeah. So how deep did you go? Given that the flippers were in GT, there were some things you couldn't do, but just how deep did you go?
I did everything except for X-ray and Graveyard Ledge, and actually, so Ice Rod was my go mode, and Blue Brinstar was one of the last regions that I went to that like I had a lot of overworld kind of one-offs before I went there, and I hadn't gone into Eastern yet at all. So the bow was one of the very last things that I got, and it should have been like a clear cut, go to Pod, go to Eastern, get your Ice Rod. But I skipped Eastern Big Key Chest, and it was like pretty much like the one conscious skip that I made throughout the whole game.
Wow.
So then I went to Turtle Rock, I looked for Ice Rod there, and then when it wasn't there, I did all the checks I could without losing my portal. I did Pyramid Catfish, I did King's Tomb, I did Ice Rod Cave, which I hadn't done yet, I did Zora.
At what point did you do so the things that were late for me, the Fire Rod and Red Cane? When did you get those?
I last located the Moon Pearl, like they said, and after I got it, the first thing I did was go to Pod, because I just looked at my Dark World map and I was just like, great, I can't do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a real shame to get Moon Pearl so late and get to Dark World and then still just have bad options.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you even had mitts at the time.
I was looking at it, I was like, I'm go -2 when I reach the Dark World or something. Well, I hadn't seen TR yet. And it's just like, well, what am I going to do? If I full clear the rest of this, I definitely lose.
So I went to Pod, because I was like, okay, well, there's a good chance there's an item there and I have to look for Big Key anyways. And then I didn't find anything there, so I was like, okay, it's got to be in Village, it's got to be safer bet that it's there. And so I just did Skullwoods, found the Fire Rod, finished it out, and then I was just like, well, I'm like legit running out of things to do, so I might as well just finish Thieves Town, and I hope that he got to it way earlier, because he probably got the Moon Pearl at a more reasonable time. So I hope that he got to Thieves earlier, and then he decided to bail in the back, and that was my Samaria there, and I was just like, okay, now that I have Samaria on Pendant Blind, I mean, there's a decent chance that he still gets hit, but I feel like now I can afford to not play as risky at this point.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys a little bit of context, by the time each of you got Moon Pearl, I think literally the only location, I don't remember whether you got Moon Pearl before or after Waterway Cheese, but between the two of you, the only other location that hadn't been checked was X-Ray, which still hasn't been checked. So both of you got to that way late. You both sequence broke Lower Norfair. Azder, you in your early Meridia play, I mean, that was the total out of sequence, let's just gravity jump and wall jump up to Meridia, and the payoff in Meridia.
Yeah, Meridia was loaded.
Yeah, so how crazy was it finding Speed Booster and Grapple both behind the gravity jump that let you into that area?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't... Oh, go ahead.
The grapple being there was really stupid.
I know, it made me chuckle.
But, yeah, I found Speed and I found the glove, and I was just like, okay, what was the logic to get here? Oh my... And I was just like, okay, well,
space jump from
Hype Cave after doing Wreck Ship and getting the Moon Pearl.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what put everything back in logic was getting bombs from Metroid's cave.
Yep.
Yeah. Why did you go to Adina for morph bombs?
I had Desert as let's see. I had Hera and Desert as a possibility. Hera was out of logic because I wasn't supposed to have the mirror yet. But I got Lant from Croc, so it was a safe bet clearing it. And so that had nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got Desert that I could walk to with the book, but I can also go to Lower Norfair. I didn't really want to go to Lower Norfair because 1, it wasn't in logic, and 2, it was going to be very slow, and 3, I didn't have an item for Worst Room. And I had already done like Meridia kind of slowly because I just didn't have good items. So I didn't really want to stay in SM, but I was just like, okay, it's worth going to Lower Norfair to get the Mire checks and the desert checks while doing Lower Norfair, instead of just walking slowly to a desert that I don't know if I can even finish. I might need boosts for it. And it turned out that I didn't need boosts for it, but it also turned out not to have anything much. And I checked a gene at the end, and it had bombs, and I was just like, oh, that puts everything back in logic.
And you found Spring Ball. So you had choices.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking about going for the jump if I really didn't find anything else, but that Spring Ball was a relief.
So that morph bombs, that was kind of an awkward find for me. It was pretty late. If I had them before leaving Super Metroid, I would have been able to go into it a lot more efficiently, and I might have actually considered Meridia, because when I had Gravity Suit, but then I looked at Meridia and it was all blue and yellow, I was like, yeah, I don't really...
map tracker.
So I passed on it and regretted it obviously terribly later, because I full cleared everything in all of Norfair, upper and lower, before doing either of Meridia or Wreck Ship.
Yeah,
being late to Meridia was a pretty big thing, and Meridia was atypically loaded this seed.
Yeah, it really was.
2 swords, and I had to I didn't have to carry the one out from Plasma, but I'm not as confident on Master Sword obviously as Azder, so I wanted the 3 swords guaranteed.
Sure. Well, we both kept him.
I was hoping that he'd missed 1 or both of those swords, especially the one at Plasma, because I routed Plasma into back of Wreck Ship. That was the reason I left Wreck Ship, was because it wasn't in logic, and I was waiting on the thing that told me that it was back in logic to then decide if I needed to do it or not. And then I was going to take Plasma with it at that point. So I figured Plasma probably wasn't, or it just might have been a thing that he skipped. And so I felt pretty good having Tempered Sword through the game, and I was like, okay, maybe he only has Master. Maybe the other sword is in Swamp, or we're never going to get it. And then, by the time I was very clearly felt behind at the end of the seed, I actually didn't really get that upset when I found the Ice Route. I was just like, okay, I did all these extra overworld stuff. That's stuff that I could have been doing looking for Kane if I hadn't gone to Thieves Town, so that's not that bad, maybe. But when I found the last sword on Tranix, I was just like, oh, you're kidding me. I did not want to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously a lower percent seed, you would have had an even more of an advantage. My first mail upgrade was where did you get Flute?
Stumpy.
Stumpy, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
so
you never got there.
Yeah,
and you weren't going to get there.
Lava dive a second time to get to Mire for my finish.
Yeah, and just going to interrupt you for a second, since you just finished up with an official SRL time of 3:12:11. So GG to you, Cheezinator, for the official finish. But yeah, that you got into go mode, and that Flute, you might have found it, but it might have been in GT, so it made sense for you not to look for it.
Yeah. I commented in SRL chat that when I found flippers in GT, I pretty much deflated, because I was on kind of a high from finding Fire Rod in Skull Woods onto Pendant Blind Red Cane, and I thought, okay, well, my out here is that Azder full clears Link to the Past Dark World and does both the Pendant dungeons locked by flippers. But then I got the flippers, and I was like, well, I'll just wait for the dot done, basically.
Yeah. And Azder also finished I really liked what you did when you did finally get to Blue Baron and you routed that into Torian the way you did. And I didn't realize that, that's because when we started, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so we missed the very start. So I hear that Ice Beam was on Lake Hylia Island?
It was. And it was such a tease because I couldn't get it before the end of the game.
Yeah. That fake flipper, yeah. And the fake flipper there is really tough in the Dark World to avoid all those little cupcake bomber thingies.
I do wonder how much time you lose in total if you dash down from the pyramid to the lake, get it, and then save and quit the SM. Is it a push? Do you lose a few seconds? Do you gain a few? That's assuming that you can't speed Zeb skip.
Yeah, off the pyramid, mirror
Well,
collect.
don't
It's
forget.
probably not a wash,
Yeah, and
honestly.
don't forget that with Zeb Skip, the big time save for Zeb Skip isn't the actual Zeb Skip itself. The big time save is not picking up ammo, which is just not a thing in SMZ3. If you have Charge Beam, you're going to have plenty of ammo to go through those Zebs regardless. I mean, I think it's still a little bit faster to first try Zeb Skip than it is to use ammo, but like the significance isn't. That's not where the significance is. So yeah, I would say probably not faster to pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, the Metroids, you do lose a lot of time power bombing them, but yeah, really interesting thing to calculate. I had somebody like it was such an interesting seed. I feel like I had so much more to say about it. I don't want to drag out the interview forever, but God.
Well, this is your last chance to have your say, so you might as well.
I honestly, I was just disappointed in Norfair in particular, right? The pushing it early, the full clear for nothing but a lamp and a charge beam. The charge beam was nice to pull up before Ridley, so I didn't have to worry about anything there. I tried a lot of tricks that I don't normally do in races today, just to like, I don't know, just because it was kind of my chance on restream, and so I did that gravity jump to shack tool. I did.
Yep, that's a hard one too.
Yeah, that was my first time ever doing it. I'd never even tried it before.
Oh wow.
I had a couple other gravity jumps that I should have gotten first try and I didn't. The one in the lava dive was kind of like, come on, like I've practiced that one a lot.
To be fair, high jumpless it's a different beast than with high jump. I think it's pretty free with high jump, but without high jump, it's not that difficult once you've learned it, but it's definitely not. I wouldn't call it free by any stretch.
Yeah, and you guys were both in the lava dive roughly at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cheezinator got through and was on the elevator as azder was pausing and menuing off gravity or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
There were some pretty synced up points the way you guys went through the seed, just because you ended up both gated to that moon pearl pretty late. That things kind of came together and then drifted apart. I mean, it's kind of what SMZ3 does, but it was a cool race for sure.
Cool. Well, can't wait to watch it back, and I do wish you luck on future rounds, azder. I had you in my top 4 for the bracket, so you can keep that intact by continuing to win.
So it's a win-win for you, Cheesy. You win, or your bracket stays intact, right?
Exactly.
Thanks. I feel like I'm actually surprised that this race ended up like this, because a lot of the things that I last locations are things that I don't think a lot of people would route them the same way and fall into the same traps that I did. So, like last locating Moon Pearl, I felt really behind there. I felt like I could make it up probably, but I did feel behind. And then I felt behind when I found Space Jump, because I realized that the logic likely wanted you to have that, and if you left, Meridia or Ellen for a reasonable time, then the things that I had to do there that took me a lot of extra time, you probably didn't really have to do.
Yeah. What is it? The wreck ship, I hate wreck ship. I put it off. I skip top of wreck ship. Like, that's something that I've been doing for a while, even in races we played together. But I guess maybe it's been a while since we raced, so you might have forgotten how much I hate wreck ship.
Yeah, well, wreck ship is not the most popular location in general, so I can't say that I blame you.
So I use splits for my boss kills, and so every time I full clear wreck ship, especially if it's not with a very good item set, I just see how far away the time is now from when I split from killing Fantine, and I'm just like, oh my god, this took forever.
Oh, that was the other thing, right? So you took Forgotten Highway. I could have done that. I was close to doing it when I wanted to route the sword in the sand pit, because I could have done that and wrap it up to plasma if I was just planning to keep plasma or go to wreck ship, but instead I did the save and checked plasma first, so then I had to go back through Kakatek Alley, which is something I almost never do in combo, to then get the other sword and leave through the bottom.
Oh, that's awkward. You routed it like Hundo.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a very Hundo style routing.
Yeah.
You usually don't want to do that. It's I hate it when when I first went down the right sand pit, doing Meridia super early, I was just like, I really didn't know how to feel about that sword, because on the one hand, it's good to have, but it's like, I don't know if I really need it, or if I really should pick it up at this point. And it's the
And
kind
then
of...
you went down left and saw the grapple beam.
That was so stupid.
So did you check Shack Tool, and if so, with what loadout?
Just gravity, pretty much.
And yeah, he went down the right sandpit, reset, went down the left sandpit, picked up the grapple beam, checked Shack Tool, reset, and then went back down the right sandpit and picked up his sword.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I was...
I think he did Dragon and then went down and got the sword, but you know.
Yeah, I did. I checked right sandpit, I saw the sword, and then I was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to leave out of the missile refill anyways, because I want to do... Because I still haven't gone to the Old Man, which is the whole point of, like, going down through Brinstar and stuff when you first get your Morphall, is to go get the Old Man. I still hadn't done that yet, so I was like, leaving at Dragon is not an option. So I was like, okay, I might as well just do Dragon, and then check the left sandpit and see if there's something there. And if there's something good there, then I just won't grab the sword, and I'll just carry on, I guess. Or even if there wasn't. But then I kind of realized that, so I had the mirror, and the sword was going to let me actually kill Moldorm if I chose to go to Hera, and not having it could have been very bad. So I ended up feeling like I had to grab it anyways. It was not really ideal.
Did you check Hera basement?
I did. I felt like I had to with because I actually put off doing Hera until I had done some Norfair. Because let's see. Yeah. So
you had a lamp.
Yeah. So I rescued Old Man, and then I was just like, well, I could use the mirror and go to Hera, but it's out of logic, so I know I don't have to do it right now. So I saved and quit, got my glove checks from back of the skate because those are free. Then I did wreck ship, but I only intended to do the front because I was thinking, well, it's not in logic, so I'm going to wait until it's actually in logic before I do it. Go down Red Tower, I get Varia, and I'm like, oh, great, okay, so a lot of Norfair is open now. And that is... Then I pretty much did Norfair Headlamp. I was hoping for a bunch of extra stuff to help me decide what I wanted to do in Link to the Past. And because I had all this Sphere 1 open, like Eastern in that direction, I hadn't been there at all. And I was just like, my Moon Pearl is probably there, but I've put it off for so long that I want to get like an out of logic bow before I go there to wrap it up cleanly and not like concede my time that I spent on this yet.
Yep. The only dungeon I double dipped was Desert because I went there without a glove actually the first time.
I believe you had no glove or fire source.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Getting the Varia and Red Tower, I was like, oh cool, this is a great excuse to go down to Business Center, wrap up things over there, get the Old Man, do hookshot to East Death Mountain, and come back and do some Norfair. But even I wrap around, I finish Hera for the crystal, but not for the items because Hammer was over on East Death Mountain. Then I'm like, crud, I still don't have even a way to get up through to the Cathedral. Like, checking as many things as I had to that point, I was like, how do I have nothing to get into Norfair? This is so... Because if I could have done that, the route would have been so much cleaner.
Oh, wait. I was not supposed to have speed for that.
No,
that wasn't in logic when I did it. Oh my god, I did not realize.
That's what normal mode does.
I probably still would have done it anyways. Like, there's just a lot there. I think it was reasonable to... Because, like, a decent chance to get bow there at the very least. Or something.
And then after you decide to leave that screw attack, but it looked like you didn't need it, so... It's an awkward location anyway. Was it Crumble Tower, I want to say?
Yeah, it was Crumble Tower. I would have taken it, but then I was just like, oh, I have Plasma, and yeah, whatever. I've had bad experiences with Crumble Tower.
I had a bad
terrible
one today.
room. It's a terrible room.
All right. Well, that was still a fun seed, a fun puzzle. It was fun to gamble a bit and take my chances on maybe pulling off an upset. But I had fun. I went 3-2 overall in the tournament, so I had a winning record. That's good to feel about. If this had been like a Swiss tournament or something, and this was the end of Swiss, I would be like, sure. Since so many good new runners have joined the community in the past like 6 months, and a lot of them played in this tournament and even are still going in the brackets, I think it was probably an overperformance for me to even get this far, since I'd been kind of rusty and focusing on other randomizers. But speaking of that, I'm going to be focusing 100% on Final Fantasy after this. I got to get back to practicing.
Yeah, how's that going? That tournament is that tournament still going?
Yeah, bracket stage started this week, and my matches are Thursday, Friday.
All right. Well, good luck to you on that. I know that's like your number one game, so I hope you do well.
Thanks.
And anything else anyone wants to add before we start to wrap this up?
I've said a lot. I'm very exhausted by that seed.
Yeah, I think we're all exhausted from watching, but yeah, no, I think you're probably more exhausted from playing. And Cheese too.
A fun but somewhat trying race, and I know how those go as a player too, and they're just everyone's exhausted by the end. But thank you to both Cheezinator and azder for coming in and chatting with us and sharing their thoughts on this masterpiece of a seed. Hopefully, y'all had fun with it. And good luck to azder, who's advancing to the top 16 to face Ninjembro.
Yeah, I guess we should
there earlier.
Oh, I didn't finish watching that race yet. Damn it!
Did we just spoil the outcome for you? I tried when you mentioned it to me. I tried not to spoil it, but
I guess that's fine.
Well, you should. Okay, you still should watch the race, because let's just say it was interesting.
Now that we know the outcome, who did he beat? I didn't know Ninjembro was paired against.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. All right. Well, I mean,
it's a good cross
product. That sounds like a fun race.
Yeah, it really was a fun race, and except maybe for cross product.
You'll
understand. You'll understand when you watch it.
I've known Ninjembro since like 2012. We were in like a very old speedrunning Skype group. That was a lot of it was Ocarina of Time bingo, but a few people in there played SM as well. Cordy was in that too. Yeah, there's a lot of really old faces from there.
Yeah, I feel like Ninjembro, in conversation to me, has blamed Cosmic for getting him to run SM. Really dates it.
Yes, very
like
very much.
That puts a timestamp on when that could have even been.
All right, I'm gonna duck out. I really need to eat some dinner. Thanks again to all the tournament organizers, comms crew. Thanks you two for commentating for us. I'm glad we got a friendly duo in the booth, and I will see you all again soon. I'll probably come some more bracket matches. So looking forward to
that, Cheese.
Sounds good, Cheezinator. Good luck in the Final Fantasy tournament and brackets.
Thank you.
All right, azder, anything else you want to add other than you might want to you definitely had Polar Bear Buddy scared a little bit, so you might want to spend a little time with her after
I think I always do that.
But yeah, anyway, good luck in the next round. We'll be looking forward to seeing that match, and I know you've got some other things coming up, like the spoiler log tournament, and
I keep forgetting about that. I have
and SM Rat.
I have SM Rat winter semis on Thursday.
So yeah, good luck to you for those as well.
Man, Thursday shaping up to be a busy day of races. azder with SM Rat, Cheezinator with Final Fantasy rando brackets.
Yeah, and a couple other ones. So we do have only have a few matches scheduled right now. So those of you that are still in the tournament, if you're listening, get your matches scheduled, because right now we only have 3 matches scheduled, and there are a lot more to come. We have Ancient Gamer versus Migs. That'll be tomorrow at 8:10. And then we have Maniacal on Thursday at 9:10 playing Liam Atlas. That'll be a fun one. We got Apathy Duck and Solsky on comms for that one. And, I would watch that one just for the comms. Never mind Maniacal, Liam Atlas. But that'll be a fun watch regardless. And then on May 23rd, which is Saturday at 3:10, we have A Real Cutie versus Relkin. That's a real interesting matchup, because we got the SM, a really good SM player, really good Link to the Past player, crossing paths there. It'll be interesting to see who comes out ahead on that one.
Yeah, Relkin newer to SMZ3, and a real cutie newer to all things A Link to the Past. So I think that'll be a fun one to watch there.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Saturday afternoon.
I mean, he has a sub 6 Mimixerman pod, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, he's been working hard on he's learned how to hover, for goodness sake. So not that that's the end all be all, but
it's really just ribbing him about it. He's got some very nailed down room strats, and
yeah, for sure,
has improved a ton in the past 6 months on the A Link to the Past side of things.
Absolutely,
it's been cool to watch him make a lot of progress.
But I'm still gonna call it the SM, because he's so good at SM. The SM player versus the Link to the Past player. We'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, it's sort of disingenuous though. So
yeah, that's
right.
probably true. That's probably true.
It's kind of like the joke where everyone was all up in arms about like Andy v Zost in the last one, where it's just a false dichotomy. But that'll be a fun match either way.
Absolutely, it will be.
But yeah, Tracy, that's all I've got.
Yeah,
so I will let you close it out for us.
Okay, so let's see. There is more to come on this channel. So we do have, let's see what's next. At 11 o'clock, we have, looks like the Metroid Prime Any % tournament coming up right after we're done. Actually, the timing is really good because we'll get off before they get going. So definitely stay tuned for that. And like I said, watch those next races coming up. So go ahead and schedule if you haven't already. Would really appreciate that because we got some really nice matchups coming up in this round. But if you haven't already followed these runners, make sure you do give them a follow. Thank you to azder and Cheezinator for putting on such a great show. Thank you to Maniacal for joining us. And actually, I'm going to shout out Cheezinator, who specifically asked me to commentate. So really, really thrilled to be able to do that for you. And of course, azder, a good friend. Both of them friends of mine. So really fun to be able to commentate their race, and Maniacal too, him joining us. And of course, don't forget our tracker. Go ahead and give him a follow as well. Zeruvian, pushing the buttons behind the scenes, doing the hard work that I am bad at, and glad to see we have professionals or near as professionals in terms of we actually don't get paid to do that work for us. And of course, to SpeedGaming in the background, and Miss Metroid for really being the person behind the scenes, setting all this up and running this tournament. I help her out a lot, but she's the number one. And of course, and our sponsor, Rank 1 Global, for putting together a prize pool for our winners at the end. So a lot of really good people that come together to make these things happen. So definitely a big thank you to all of them. But yeah, that'll do it for us. And since it's the end of the day, well, at least the end of the day for me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.